told you I found you a perfect match. Chosen by science, but you had to marry them right this second. You would tell me, well, that sounds pretty whack. And I would add, you have 8 weeks to know if you really love them. You just got married at first sight. Jason and Aysha gonna tell you wrong from right. Are all these couples just disasters waiting to happen? Imagine if one of them could be a perfect match.
Welcome to A Perfect Match, the show where we talk about the show, Married at First Sight. We are on season 16, episode 18. I'm one of your co-hosts, Jason Reed. With me is my other co-host, Aysha Welch. Aysha, I know at the beginning of our podcast relationship, it was like, pepper, cinnamon. I'm all about pepper and cinnamon, but I just feel like it's time to maybe put all the pepper and cinnamon stuff away. So like all that picture behind you, the 2 pictures of your dogs behind you, I think maybe it's time we just got rid of all that stuff. You could put it in your office. I mean, you're in your office, but you could probably put it in one of your other offices that you have in your mansion. I don't think, it really needs to be on the podcast. I think we're past that now.
I mean, I think we could still keep them a part of our conversation, but I can compromise. I'll put the pictures in my third office and then we can go from there. But I was really wondering, Jason, so what are you thinking about this show so far? It's been really great, right? Like we've seen a lot of growth. Like, what do you need to see from these couples in order to make it to decision day?
Well, I mean, I just feel like you need to I feel like they need to keep giving me like a safe space where I can really talk about my feelings, and hopefully our connection with the audience keeps growing. That's just what I feel like I need for a decision day. I only say that about 15 more times throughout this episode.
Yeah. I would have sent money through the TV to get an ounce more energy out of Eris in that conversation.
I mean, how you feeling? Like, I mean, you can if you want, you can do a hand grab or a hug.
A hug.
A hug. Can I get a hug? But that's literally it. Do not try anything else, like a hand grab or a hug. Do not get any other ideas.
Don't you dare
Don't
try to
do
kiss
it.
me.
Your lips come anywhere near me.
Don't kiss my cheek.
Nothing. Period. I'm not here. I don't want it. I'm sorry. I got too excited for Eris's cadence.
Ooh, ridiculous. But yes, very excited to be here talking about episode 18. Can you believe it? 18? We've really had that many podcasts about this season.
I mean, it feels like I said last week, it just feels like episode number 112. Like, can we? And I was so excited to see the preview and be like, time for decision day. Let's go. And no, it's more of the same. It's more of the, I don't know what we're gonna do for decision day. Yes, we know. We've heard several times.
Decision day ain't today. Decision day ain't next week.
It's not going to be tomorrow. Not going to be next year.
Because this episode started with 6 days until decision day. I swore last episode started out with 7 days until
we thought we were done with the retreat. They started this episode coming back from the retreat. We still had more retreat content. Technically, they are just taking this like as if it's like a piece of bubble gum and just stretching it out. Just stretch. We're going day by day. Literally, we are going day by day per episode at this point.
At this point, decision day mid-July.
Right. Will we ever get there? The new season is going to be airing. We still haven't seen the old season decision day.
I'm going to be talking about Love is Blind After the Altar. And we're still going to be talking about this season of Married at First Sight. Oh, my goodness.
Too much.
But we're so glad y'all are here and y'all along for the ride. We watch it so that y'all don't have to. If you've given up on the season, I totally understand. But if you want to continue listening to us, that is lovely. I'm so happy that we're able to keep you up to date on what's going on with the season without having to sit through the hour and a half, which feels like 3 hours.
It really does. And then they had the audacity to stretch out After Party 30 more minutes.
After Party was 1 hour this week. She had 2 sets of guests.
We had so much content. We need to give y'all an hour of After Party.
Lifetime said, we have 30 minutes. We have no idea what to do with.
Nothing. We have no Lifetime movie star and a 90s actress. We have nothing. Let's just give them 30 more minutes of After Party and talk about the same stuff over and over and over again. Wouldn't that be great?
Oh, absolutely. But make sure y'all go subscribe to our feed, our Love at First Sight feed. Also subscribe to Reality TV RHAPup while you're at it. These podcasts are also posted there along with all of the other RHAP content about different reality shows. If you just want to see what else is out there within RHAP, go for it. Subscribe to Reality TV RHAPup specifically for our content. Subscribe to the Love at First Sight feed. Leave us a 5-star rating and review. Also, make sure you subscribe to the Rob Has a Podcast YouTube channel because we are on YouTube. If for some reason you didn't know that by now.
I mean, those of you on YouTube, I mean, hit us with some of those some thumbs up. It helps us really get into the hearts and minds of more YouTubers and when looking for MAFS stuff. More thumbs up gets us more eyes, basically.
Yeah, just like I checked the reviews on Apple Podcasts, I also checked the comments on YouTube. So if y'all want to leave us some comments there, that helps as well. Because I
saw Mari Forth trolling me on the YouTube video of our last podcast talking about, Jason definitely did say Halle Berry. Okay, yes. I didn't say I didn't, Mari. Okay. Don't come at me in the YouTube comments. You have my number. Come at me.
You kind of did say you didn't, though.
No, I said I did.
Because I had to say, we recorded this. There is evidence.
Run the tape. Run the footage. Montre, run the footage.
But speaking of reviews, we do want to shout out some amazing people who have left us reviews. The first one I'll shout out is from Steffers1. It's titled, When You Don't Have Friends to Talk About. And it says ... But I'm going to assume it says about Married at First Sight too. It says, I stumbled upon this show and have been binging season 16 of Married at First Sight. It's so nice to listen to my new quote unquote friends chat about this crazy show and see if I missed anything or confirm my is it just me or viewpoints. The Love is Blind coverage is awesome too. Hosts are great, funny, and relatable. 5 stars, would come again, winky face. Thank you so much.
The vast majority of that review was great.
Love is Blind, hater.
One little part. The review I want to highlight is from Jayhawk3333. It is entitled Jason Aysha the best P something because Apple reviews on sucks. I cannot see the rest of it.
Maybe
I'm going to assume the best podcasters.
Yeah. People.
I'll take either one. It reads, Jason and Aysha are the best part of Married at First Sight. Clip that, send it to Lifetime. They are always
maybe that's what the title was.
Okay.
Best part
of okay. I'll take that. I'll take that. But clip that first little part, send it to Lifetime. We still waiting for the invite. We still here. You got our numbers. They're always entertaining. I will swear my allegiance as a listener if Jason could please add a weekly segment of him reading the news in the voice of Gina and Clint. I literally snorted coffee out all over my laptop.
So you owe them a new laptop.
I listen to the show at your own peril of your
you sign a waiver when
devices.
You play.
Yes, I mean I assume that someone is spitting something out like every time they listen to this podcast because we're so funny. So I mean, listen at your own peril.
Are you?
I'm pretty confident. I mean, listen, we got the evidence. Part of the evidence right here. Jayhawk, thank you so much for the review. We'll see what we can get into with the I almost said Cleena again with the Gina and Clint of it all when we get to their segment.
Okay, I can't wait. Also, make sure you go join our Facebook group. We've been having a great time the past couple of seasons talking in our Facebook group. We talk about the episodes. If you're missing out on the fun, make sure you go join. When you join, you can look up a perfect match podcast, and there's a password, and you also should read to the group rules. This week, the password is...
It's a pop cup. I'm going to get a pop cup for my boy Hank. Pop cup. A pop cup.
Did you know
cup? Pop cup.
Did you know pup cups were a thing before this?
I'd heard the word pup cup somewhere. I don't know where I heard it. I heard it probably on some TV show, but I knew it was a thing that they served at Starbucks for dogs.
Okay.
So I mean, listen, how many pup cups do you go through in your average week? I have to ask.
Well, I will say my firstborn, Pepper, is not treat motivated.
Not my firstborn.
I always tell her that. I'm like, you're my firstborn.
She said it just like that, y'all. Just like that.
So Pepper is not treat motivated. I learned the hard way. The last time I tried to get her a pup cup, she licked one bit of it and was like, I'm done.
It's trash.
It's like, I'm good. But sometimes she's in the mood, sometimes she's not. It's really hit or miss. I know Cinnamon would go wild over a pup cup, and I'm afraid to open that door with her.
So what exactly is the pup cup? I didn't like. Is it just whipped cream in a cup?
It is a very small cup with whipped cream. That's it.
Oh, okay.
It's not even like a 8 ounce. I mean, sometimes they'll give it in that if they don't have the little cups, and that's a lot of whipped cream. But sometimes it comes in the very small cup. But other places do it too. That I just learned Chick-fil-A does pup cups. You just got to take your chance.
Your favorite cidery does pup cups, I'm sure.
They do always bring them treats.
Come, girls, it's time to go to the cidery.
They love when I bring them to the cidery. They give them treats. They took pictures of them last time we were there, so they're gonna be used on the advertisement for Dog Day.
Are you serious?
I'm not even joking.
Pepper and Cinnamon are models now. That's where we're at.
Hey,
I mean, I shouldn't be surprised. They do have a social media presence.
Right. You gotta get those.
Probably got some spawn
where you can.
Got some spawn con here.
Yeah. So, yeah, pup cups are all the rage. And yeah, it's literally just that whipped cream. Okay. So you can make them at home too. I have made pup cups at home, and they're free. So,
girls, time for your pup cups.
Right. Yeah. I literally, I do. Yeah. Actually, recently I got some whipped cream. So I just spread it out on a plate and they went to town. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, they love whipped cream. So let's see. We got the Facebook password out the way. We got our reviews out of the way. I guess we could talk about these couples.
Oh, some MAFS news we didn't touch on last week that I forgot. But just in case this is the only source of your MAFS news that you get, we did have another divorce in the MAFS universe, and this one we didn't see coming really. Beth and Jamie are no more.
That's season 8.
Oh, don't ask me.
Well,
I get the numbers mixed up.
They were a couple that we definitely weren't. We didn't think that they were going to make it. They had a very tumultuous relationship during the experiment, but then they survived, or like they stayed married, and then it was like, oh, maybe it's so wild that it works.
Yeah, maybe these two crazy kids are so crazy that this is going to work, and no signs of trouble. And then just out of the blue, it's just boom, done.
I'm also not totally convinced they're completely done because Jamie's statement said, like, I'm taking a break from my wife. So
it's a separation. So we'll see. Sling, I guess, has to find some new advertisement content because they were big for their Sling commercials. I remember seeing that on like Facebook or something. I was like, why do I have I guess I look up so much MAFS stuff. They have decided to throw me some Sling advertisements featuring Jamie and Beth. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
But it's a case where we're your MAFS source of news. Just a little. It's big news when we have another divorce and taking down the success percentage even further for this show.
Yeah, because we're definitely under. I think last time I checked, it was 12 couples that had still survived.
And Tina and Elijah one are still like, who knows?
They're back together. So
yeah, Miles and Karen are who knows. So
big
we
question mark
we
there.
got some in limbo there as well. But yeah, let's run into this episode. I mean, listen, this episode better than the retreat episodes. I'll say that. What did you think of that?
I can agree with that because the retreat episodes had such nonsense in them. This did revisit a lot of stuff we've already talked about. However, it does give us a better now that we're within 6 days of decision day. It does kind of help us see like, okay, the issues y'all have, y'all are not recovering from this in 6 weeks or 6 days. Or is it something that they can look past and work through past decision day? So I could see that. It wasn't a total like bust of an episode, but could decision day have been episode 18? Absolutely.
Oh yes, 100%, 100%. So let's start with Chris and Nicole. They come back from their retreat. They're unpacking their stuff and they start getting to like a debate about who do you think made the biggest stride this weekend. Nicole says it's Jasmine Eris. Chris says, I think Jack and Kirsten probably had the biggest strides. So I'm thinking, why are y'all debating about which couple you think made? They're not
they're
us.
The best couple.
They're not us, but they're doing a little better.
Right.
Nicole says, we're doing well. You saw my competitive side this week. Normally,
so she says, all the time when we have this conversation, we always leave ourselves out of it.
You never talk about us. We don't talk
Why
about
do y'all
people.
talk so much about the other couple's growth?
Yeah, that's not healthy. She says, we saw each other's competitive sides. Normally, I'm a sore loser, but the fact that you were there and you kept reminding me that it was supposed to be fun, made it enjoyable. I said, wait a minute. I think we saw your competitive side. We saw that you were a sore loser for sure.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what we saw.
She literally called it a kid's game.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to be good at this kid's game anyway. So Nicole brings up their pineapple safe word. It says, did you were you ever tempted to use it while we were on the retreat? He says, yeah, I've never felt like I had to use the word. And he's like, and while we are on the topic of the safe word, I think we can probably just do away with it. Because if anything's ever bothering us, we could just like talk about it as if we were, I don't know, adults.
AKA, I don't ever want to hear about this pineapple again. Because you know what? If he's probably thinking, if he does not say this right now and doesn't get rid of it, this is going to be something that she revisits probably on a monthly basis. Mm-hmm. Like, has there been anything in the past month that has made you want to say pineapple? He's like, no.
Chris is like in his feels, right? He's like, you know what? Matter of fact, since we're talking about it, let's just get rid of all the freaking pineapple stuff in this place. She's like, wait, what? You want to get rid of all the pineapple stuff? He says, yeah, let's just round it all up, put it in a box and set it on fire. She says, wait, let's compromise. I can take all the stuff and just put it in my office. That's fine. So they immediately he cannot wait another second. No, I've been keeping this bottled up inside of me for the last 7 weeks. We need to get rid of all this pineapple stuff and get rid of the word pineapple. So they go around, start rounding up all the pineapple stuff.
Did you notice this whole conversation up to this point was in the closet?
Yeah, they were in their closet. Well, I mean, hey, it's a nice walk-in closet if you can get it. That's Aysha Welch size walk-in closets. You can fit 2 people and a camera crew in there.
Right, that's what I was thinking. Like, it has to be cramped. They can't move this to the kitchen.
You got the camera crew, you got the audio people, you got Montre, you got Chris, you got Nicole. It's a lot of people. So they go around removing all the pineapple stuff, except for the dog toy. There's a pineapple dog toy that needs to stay. Now, Aysha, you mentioned a season or so ago about what else a pineapple could represent. Do we think there's anything else to that here in this season?
Wow. I don't know. I never even thought. I completely forgot about that.
He says, we tried pineapple and I didn't like it. So I think we should get rid of all the pineapple because that was a humbling experience for me. I don't want any more pineapple stuff to be going down.
That's so funny because I could see Nicole being down for pineapple behavior, pineapple activities.
For those that are just joining us this season, why don't you explain what pineapple to mean? Because you brought this to the podcast.
Why don't you explain?
Because you're the one that brought it to the podcast. I didn't know anything about it until your dirty self decided to bring it up or for whatever reason. I don't pry into people's lives, but
So I've heard. I've heard.
She's heard.
Oh my! Okay. Do I need to like read an official definition? that like on like typically on like cruises, couples, if they put a pineapple on their door, that means that they're down for like interacting with other couples.
Did you just go on a cruise recently?
I did, but not as a couple.
Interesting. Interesting.
I didn't see any pineapples.
Okay. Yeah, so they get rid of all the pineapple stuff. The next segment we get with them is Chris meeting up with his brother Brandon. We find out that his brother Brandon is a life coach, and he wants advice from his life coach brother. Now, I saw Brandon. I said, is this a life coach look? If I saw my life coach approaching me with this look, I don't know if I would take this life coach's advice.
What is a life coach look?
I don't know. It's a little more professional. I mean, I know he's not there in an official life coach capacity, but it's just
like someone who is a life coach looks like they have their life together.
Yeah, Brandon comes in with the shirt open with the gold chain and the weird, I don't know what you call this hairdo he had. He dyed his hair blonde. It's got like a little point on his head. I said, okay, all right, Brandon, go ahead. I'm gonna be on TV today. I'm getting my stuff right.
He said, "These are my fancy clothes."
Mm-hmm. So they are at a car museum, being shown around a bunch of different interesting cars. I don't know why this had to be included, but they Chris and Brandon sit down. They start talking. Chris says, I feel really good about where Nicole and I are at right now, but she does have a really intense personality. But we tend to balance each other out, and I can reset to her whenever she gets too far off track. Brandon says, so what could she do better then? He says, well, she does question things too much and talks about, and he references when she said, if you don't want to stay here when I'm working on myself, then there's the door. He says she is also way too critical on herself. Chris was just waiting for someone to ask him, like, so what could she do? Well, here's the thing. It's like, right. She does this, and this.
These all sound like instances where he could have used the word pineapple.
Yeah, these are pineapple conversations. They both talk about how much Chris's life has changed. He says, 2 months ago, I was a single guy, and now I'm asking myself if I can, see myself spending the rest of my life with Nicole. And if our happiness can last. And it'd be a shame if, this all ended because we put in so much work. For Brandon, a life coach, he didn't really say anything, like, at all.
Yeah, I would have expected him to come with some fire advice.
This is your advertisement, man. Like, this is your time to shine. Bring it. Come on.
Maybe he did say a lot, and they just put it on the cutting room floor.
They're like, I don't know what kind of life coach this guy is. Get all this footage out of here.
They're like, talking about? Wait, no, this is going to make them say no on decision day.
He's talking too much sense.
You probably have to consider the fact that you've only known each other less than 2 months.
Mm-hmm. And this might not be the thing for you. If you're doubting it, so they're like, all right, no.
Right.
Get out of here.
That's enough of this scene.
Chris, get your loser brother out of here. We don't need this.
We got what we needed.
Yeah. Seems like you're really stressed. Maybe you don't need this in your life. Whoa. This is our golden child. Do not come in here ruining this for us.
Right. They're like, wait, sorry, we're having an issue with the mics. We're gonna have to cut the scene.
Oh, sorry.
We can't hear you.
His hair gel is clogging up the mics. We go away from that segment. We come back. Nicole is calling her dad on FaceTime. She says, with D-Day coming up, her dad says, I'm going to support whatever decision you make, whatever you want to do. It's good. He says, it's not as if I'm thinking Chris is a loser and I'm asking, why would you stay married to this loser? I know production was thinking, oh, we got the soundbite. We could use this because remember last week we saw this in the preview. We were like, what is going on here? This is so weird. Mm-hmm. So this is like exactly what production wants for him to say. It's not like I'm saying, take this clip out and use it for a preview. He says, Chris is definitely not a loser or a serial killer. Yuck.
I'm glad he clarified.
Yeah, clarified that, that he's not a serial killer. I don't know if we can get Mac's mom to come on and say the same thing. Or Dominique's mom. Was it Dominique's mom that came on and said the same thing about Mac?
She's like, confirmed.
Yeah, confirmed. More on Mac later, folks. She says she doesn't want to make a decision based off of them being in the moment, but she wants to make a decision based on the whole experience and what the future could be. Dad says, well, Chris seems pretty stable, pragmatic, intelligent, emotionally stable, unlike most men. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus, am I right? And it says, it's clearly working for you guys. I'm totally supportive of whatever your decision of it is. I'm supportive of him. I'm supportive of you. I'm supportive of you guys together. Nicole says, I feel good about where we're at, but I'm still stressing about our living situation. Dad says, well, living separately, that would be a big setback. She's like, yeah, I know, right? I keep telling them that.
She's like, finally, someone's hearing me.
Yeah, someone's agreeing with me. Nicole says, it's frustrating that he just keeps saying that they'll get it done with no real action. And she really wants to have a solid plan in place before decision day, not just it'll work itself out. Dad says, if you want to do it, but you have to be 100% committed if you're going to do it. And that was really it for Chris and Nicole. Very, very short segment for them this week.
Yeah, I mean, because like you said, it's a lot of the same. There weren't any new like curveballs thrown in that could add to this narrative. I feel like they're not giving them anything off script.
And the vast majority of their stuff was separate, not even together. Like they weren't with each other.
Oh yeah, that's true. Maybe it's
we know y'all are tired of seeing them together and how good of a couple they are.
Right.
We're gonna give y'all a break this week.
Exactly. Yeah, they probably are like have learned how to live together. Like it's not these like, all right, let's talk about our growth. Let's do this. They're just actually hanging out with each other.
Yep. I'm sure that she keeps saying the same paranoid stuff. So like, y'all need to see on the end of that. Let's get to these people that have problems.
Mm-hmm.
So ratings. I can't imagine much has changed. Where are you at with them?
Yeah, I'm a 5.
Yeah, I'm a 5. They much as they keep trying to get us to think otherwise, it's definitely just a 5. And they didn't even do that this week. They're just like, yeah, everything's pretty good.
Yeah, they're solid.
I don't see much of a problem. So yeah, it's still a 5. No surprise there.
All right, let's talk about a couple that needs to just throw in the towel. Kirsten and Shaquille.
You think it's need to throw in the towel? The shame is there are like second best couple on the season still, and we're like throw in the towel.
Yeah, it's just like the hard thing is you can't want it more than both people. Like all these outside factors, like it's so easy. Y'all are so close. Y'all are almost there. But I think they both equally need to be in it, like both sides. And
yeah, I mean they do that thing we talk about where they're passing each other on the levels up. Like she's coming up and he's going down like that, and that's not going to be en route of success
at all. I just feel like I hear marriages work, but I feel like it doesn't have to be this hard.
No, they're making it 10 times harder than they need to actually make it, which is just like, and Kirsten's mom, we're going to talk about it, but she gave really good advice, especially in the very tail end of it that we'll get to. But just they need to chill.
Yeah. So we got to see Kirsten meet up with her brother, who this whole conversation is really just an opportunity for him to be a sounding board for Kirsten, because I don't think he provided any type of response that was helpful for Kirsten.
Yeah.
Just an opportunity for her to kind of vent. So she says, it's nice to see you, brother.
Like, my brother, who's not an actor, because right. I'm not in witness protection. You are definitely my brother, William.
I don't know when the last time I referred to my brother as, hey, brother.
Hello, brother.
Yeah. She tells him that her and Shaquille are still on this journey and they're still trying to figure out their communication. The world knows that at this point. And she doesn't feel like they're having enough intentional conversations like their living situation after this. And she still feels pretty undecided. She feels like the physical connection is not there. She doesn't feel like he's trying to win her over or that he's that interested in the marriage, which I think is a very interesting point because she does keep saying like we're not having these type of conversations, or he's, I feel like, does he even like me? And that's it right there. That specific sentence of he's not trying to win her over. She wants to be romanced. She wants to be wooed. She wants
any indication that, like, she put it pretty plainly that
yeah,
he likes her, that he wants to be around her, and she's not getting that for him at all, it seems
right.
like. And I don't know. You're not putting in any any work. Like, are you putting in work, Kirsten? Are you doing the conversations that need to be had? And in after party, when she's asked, like, so what does Shaq say when you bring up like what happens after decision day? She's like, he just avoids it. He avoids, and this, like, Shaq and Kirsten have been playing media in the after parties, pointing the finger at each other. Like every time one of them is on after party, they're just pointing the finger at each other. Like, well, they don't do this. Well, she doesn't do that. He doesn't do this. I after party was interesting because we had the hour-long episode. We had Brad James, Rudy's husband, on. And we had Jasmine and Kirsten on the first hour, and then Eris and Gina on the second hour. I kind of wish that we had Shaq on the second half hour instead of Gina, and maybe even instead of Jasmine. Because I just wish we had Kirsten and Shaq as two different viewpoints of the same thing to see.
Yes.
You see, like, well, Kirsten was just here and she said this. What is your reaction to that? I wish you could have got that, because Jasmine and Eris didn't really have anything to play off of too much to be like, they said this. What do you have to say to that? I wish we could have gotten those opposing viewpoints, because they certainly point the finger at each other every time they are on an after party.
Yeah.
And she says he just totally avoids the conversation. So what does that mean? Is he literally saying, I don't want to talk about it? Like, I don't want to talk about what happens after decision day, and just doesn't say anything? What is he saying to you?
It's probably one of those situations where she wants to have a whole conversation about it. And he's like,
Kirsten, it's 4:00 in the morning. I gotta get up in an hour.
And I feel like I don't think there's anything wrong with her wanting to be wooed. And to your point, like, what is she doing in this marriage? I feel like we could do that all day. We could use any couple as an example. We could even say with like Chris and Nicole, like, oh, what is Nicole doing that makes Chris so interested? It's just because he is interested. She's not going above and beyond and doing anything extra.
Like Chris and Nicole are being themselves. They are just living. And in that living, they understand that they like each other, that they are doing things. They don't have to make a big show of it. They are just doing it. Saying,
yeah, she just wants to be.
I like you. I like seeing you. It's good to see you. I really, really like you.
Yeah.
Things in their everyday life. They don't have to make a big gesture about it.
And because Kirsten and Shaq don't have that foundation, that we're like, Chris and Nicole from the very beginning have been having these deep conversations, opening up, peeling back all these layers. And Kirsten's like still at this point, 6 days from decision day, wondering if he likes her. She wants, I can see it. She wants him to, like, just without being prompted, bring her some flowers. Like, hey, I was just thinking about you, or doing something to show like, hey, I just want to show you that I care about you.
You know what's weird? They have like oddly transformed into Jasmine and Eris all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Does he like me? Does he attracted to me? I'm not sure. Like, they are both in that same spot now.
And I could also see her concern too, now that they've consummated their marriage. If it hasn't happened again, then she's like, wait a second.
He said he wanted it.
Here? Yeah.
He hasn't wanted it since. What's going on?
Right.
In addition to being bad at kissing, am I bad at other things too? Right. I didn't know.
Yeah, it is just like, yeah. So I get what she wants, and he's not giving that to her because he's
petty. Petty with a capital P.
Yes, he is petty, and he's also holding on to a lot of the stuff that has happened, that has personally. I bet you he's still not over that group conversation where she didn't speak up. the fact that he's still not over her not going to Memphis. Like, he hasn't moved on from these things, so he's walking around with a chip on his shoulder, and it's impacting their everyday.
Yeah, there was a lot of shade thrown at Shaq on the after party where Kirsten's saying, he takes things so personal and he holds grudges. He's still upset about the Memphis trip. Rudy's saying, "Oh my gosh, he's get over that." Rudy is talking to Shaq through the TV, the friend.
Yeah.
You need to let it go.
Right. I mean, because okay. He was validated in being annoyed or frustrated because he wanted her to be there. They had that miscommunication. Okay, right?
And then he even admitted that it was his fault.
Yeah. And the fact that he didn't like the way she tried to correct it by saying, "All right, when's the next one? I'm putting my calendar."
It's never good enough.
I want to know that you want to be there.
It's never good enough. We get it even in this episode. It's not good enough. I asked for this. You did this. It's still not good enough.
Yeah. And like, I feel like her making that adjustment is her trying to show him that she cares, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so in her mind, she's like, okay, I can be supportive. That's how I can care. What is he doing to show me that he cares?
He said, "I don't need to. I did it in the first part of our marriage. So
right.
I don't need to. You had your chance to be there with me, but you decided not to. But so now I'm not there anymore."
Exactly. So she does say that she feels like they're just living with each other. She feels like he's inserting himself in so much right now. And her brother's like, "Yeah, he does got a lot going on right now,
He's got work, he's got school, he's got you.
Exactly.
He's just saying the same thing she says. There's a girl taking it a different way.
Yes. And so she says she knows that he wants to be a part of the family. So she's going to have something at the house just for the brother and her mom and Shaq. And she's like, "And I do want to take him to Dad's house soon." And the brother's like, "Oh, okay." Dad is like the judge.
So he's not only scared Kirsten with his opinions and judgments, he scared the brother too of saying, "Oh, Dad's so scary. We don't want to bring anyone around Dad."
Yeah. So she does say she wants to be feeling it, but she's just not feeling it 100%. So all in all, we got from this conversation is she is on the fence, which we knew.
Mm-hmm.
So then we get another scene with Shaq on FaceTime with his friend Sherman. So mentally, out of a 10 right now, he would say he's a 6 or a 7. He's been trying to balance the marriage, school, work. He feels like he's in a really tricky place. He feels like they're growing, but they're not growing together. They're growing separately. And Sherman's like, "Oh, okay, man. Y'all just going through those growing pains."
The friends and family in this episode are not bringing it.
Literally, just Kirsten's mom.
Yeah, Kirsten's mom is the only person that really brought anything of relevance, of wisdom.
Yeah.
Everyone else is just saying the same things.
Right. He said they talk to his family often, but he still hasn't met her dad. And that's a huge part for him because he wants to know, like, can I be with her family when she's not around? When I go to drop off the kids, can I go drop off the kids to her family, like, without her? It's like,
what does he think is going to happen? Chris's parent family is like, through the shades, drop the kid at the door. Yeah, we don't want to talk to you. We don't want any interaction with you.
Exactly. He just wants to feel included in her life. And I just feel like these are very important things, but in this specific situation, he's putting the cart before the horse. You don't even know if you were clicking with Kirsten.
Well, he seems to think in order to click with Kirsten, he needs to meet the family. That is a huge roadblock right now. I need to meet your family before I can even know that I'm going to vibe with you. It's about your family before you for some reason. And I'm just thinking, so how many other family members do you need to meet? You met mom. I'm sure you probably met brother at the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
You've met, was it her cousins that showed up to their housewarming or his?
I think those were his friends. Okay. So it was like his friend, like his cousin and his cousin's spouse.
Okay. So I can understand that he says, I want to meet your family, but it seems like the big roadblock here is the dad. The dad doesn't want to talk to you, man. He doesn't think this is going to go well. So he doesn't want to, he's not in a hurry to come meet you.
And I think we also have the COVID protocols, the fact that
but you don't need COVID protocols to meet when you're not filming. Like that's
true. Yeah. And they also don't need it for FaceTime.
Right, exactly. So this could have happened at any moment. And I think it's mostly the dad saying, I'm good. Let's give it some time. And if you make it to I don't know 6 months, then I'll meet him or something like that. I do wonder if they're meeting the dad next episode, because in the preview they seem to be outside of some house. So I wonder if that's the time that they meet dad next episode.
It could be, because she said she wanted to take him by her dad's house.
Kirsten did say on After Party, like, yeah, my dad does not want to film at all. So I wonder if like they're outside the house and like, you get that card that you get every so often of different shows. Like you see them enter the house and you see a card that says, Kirsten and Shaq, we're not allowed to film inside of Kirsten's dad's house. And then they come outside the house and have their little talk about what just happened, and we never see dad.
Right. It's gonna be like Kwame on Love Is Blind. We only hear one side of the conversation.
Yeah, I did not sign a release to have my voice or likeness put on this show.
Right.
I got warrants. I cannot risk this.
Which is just so wild, because I'm like, I always think about that. I'm like, but don't the people around you know that Kirsten is your daughter? Like, whenever family members don't want to be on TV, I'm like, I guess it's for the wider audience or the broader audience. But
I think it's different. You yourself don't want to be on television because I don't know why, but just in case, and he might be thinking of a broader scope. Like, okay, this show gets edited. I don't want to say something and they misconstrue what I'm saying, or they
that artificial intelligence.
Yeah, the Amazon people, they can take you can take your voice, they can take your likeness, and they can do anything they want with it. That's why I don't have no Alexas. I don't trust them.
And see, because he's not on the show,
Apple Pay.
We have to assume this is what he's like.
Y'all want me to put my credit card information in the computer? It's straight cash for me. Got all in my mattress. That's what I get from Kirsten's dad. Doesn't want to take any of the COVID stuff. He doesn't want to, be on camera. They steal your soul with those cameras. You know that, right? That's why I got an old-fashioned flip phone.
Right. As soon as I get on that show, I don't own my life no more.
Next thing you know, I'm on the internet doing crazy stuff. They manipulated my voice and my actions.
They're going to have me on that tickety-tock doing one of them little dances.
The tic-tac. On the face pages. Not gonna get me. I'm smarter than that.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm really curious if we're gonna get to see him. Now
Real
that
talk,
you say that.
Real talk though. Y'all know you people on TikTok, you're giving all your information to the Chinese, right? I'm just saying.
You know how much I've learned from TikTok.
So it's worth it?
Yes.
To give all your information to the Chinese. I don't care. I got so much Love Is Blind news from TikTok. It's worth it.
Hey, I can't even.
Have it, Chinese. Have all of it.
I've learned so much from so many different angles.
Give me all your silly videos.
It's not.
You know how many cat talking videos I've seen on TikTok? Worth it.
You talking like Kirsten's dad.
What did I say wrong?
It's not just silly videos.
What is it?
I'm gonna start sending
you. It's not just silly videos. I understand. It's like
it's
entertainment.
It's literally whatever you're consuming. It's like
I know.
When government officials are like, oh, all TikTok is like girls with like bikinis on. It's curated. It's based on what you're looking
for. We know what your government officials are watching this. Right. We know what your algorithm is.
Exactly. I'm like, my For You page does not look like that. So my For You page is full of dogs.
Surprising no one.
Love Is Blind.
Mansions. Destination vacations, private jets.
Anywho,
I'm gonna get that private jet. That's my next one. I'll buy that one.
That was not on my list.
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel like, and I feel like we've gotten it a little bit too in some of his confessionals. I feel like Shaq is reading way into the fact that her dad has not met him.
Mm-hmm.
He's painting this whole picture of her family not being supportive.
Yeah, it's spread
and
to the
why
whole
is her family not?
It's like,
yeah,
what's going on? Why isn't anybody coming to support her?
Right. My family would support me right away. Why aren't they supporting her? Is it
all over me?
Her?
What's going? Like, shit, is she the problem?
Right. Does she hate her family?
Is she the black sheep in this family? Nobody want to talk to her?
It's like, oh my
it's
goodness.
weird. He literally said, it's so weird that only her mother shows up. What is happening?
He's like, she invited them and they wouldn't even come?
It couldn't be me. Not my family.
My family is way better.
I say come and my family's there within an hour, no matter where they are.
No matter what I'm doing.
We're there for each other. He is definitely family shaming Kirsten.
Literally.
It's so like,
it's
so
kind of hard to watch. I'm like,
it is. Multiple times this episode.
Yes. Can you chill a little bit? Her family loves her, okay?
Why would someone not want to support you through this reality show? That you got married to a stranger. Why wouldn't somebody show up for you for that?
Right.
I don't know. Y'all make your own conclusion. I'm surprised you just didn't talk to us. Like, y'all make your own conclusion, but
right.
I don't know.
I'm not saying Kirsten's family is unsupportive, but
y'all make your own conclusions. Seems a little sus to me. I don't know.
Good Lord.
If it was my daughter, I'd be there for her. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to say that, Kirsten's dad's a deadbeat, but I mean.
Literally what he's trying to say.
Hey.
Oh, goodness.
I haven't seen the man in 2 months. I mean, you draw your own conclusions. Right. I'm not trying to say anything, but.
I've been married to his daughter for 2 whole months. Never seen the
man.
One
word to this man. So weird, right?
Is he even present in her life?
Makes you think.
I just like, Shaq, you're reading way too deep into this. Take a step back. Realize what you're doing. Understand that this is so unconventional. You can't just expect every family to just be like, yes, we're all for it. It takes time.
It takes, for many people, it would take time. It would be weird to me if like I was the dad, but I mean, I think I would probably like, I'd still meet the guy. I wouldn't say, nope, don't you bring him around here. I don't want to see him. He's probably a serial killer.
Right.
He probably works for the government. Not gonna fool me. Smarter than that. It's gonna take a minute before we get up on old Jasper. I just imagine his name is Jasper. Like, that's just what I imagine.
Oh my goodness.
I was born at night, not last night.
Oh my gosh. So Kirsten comes home and Shaq is cooking dinner. I was like, that's nice. He's cooking breakfast for dinner. He's making some cinnamon pancakes. He was cleaning some shrimp. So I'm imagining some shrimp and grits. She said she had a really good talk with her brother. She does tell him that she is inviting her family over. And he was like, oh, here?
Oh,
she's like,
here, to this apartment. To this place.
Yeah. He's like,
that's
okay.
Dope.
That's dope.
That's dope. So it's not going to be a lot of people because our apartment's pretty small. So you're only inviting a couple people? It's not like a big family reunion thing?
As if he didn't invite his whole Minty population.
Okay. It's only going to be a couple people, I guess. That's weird to me, but all right.
Right. You're not inviting all of your cousins?
Where are all your third cousins at?
Right. He asked her, like, okay, like, so why is it taking a while for like me to meet your family? She's like, people have been working.
People are busy, Shaq. You should know. You got a lot going on.
Right.
I wonder if it's ever been a time where she goes, my family can meet you at this and this time. He says, oh, can't do it.
I'm at the gym.
I'm at the gym. I got a university thing. I don't got time for you and your people. I wonder if that's ever happened where she's tried to schedule something, but he is so busy. As we've established, he is so busy. He acts like he has all the time in the world to go meet her family. But yeah, I mean, and it is like that sometimes. People have different work schedules. It seemed like when her mom gets there, that her mom did just like come from work or something. Like I think she has some scrub type of thing. So I don't know. He is so skeptical of this.
I know. It's just like it's hard. Like even I have friends that were like, okay, let's hang out. And they're like, okay, 2 months from now works perfect. So it's just like, it's not that easy. Especially when you're coordinating multiple people.
In 3 weeks at about 2 a.m. Is that good?
Right. It can be like, no.
I'm sleeping then.
Right. So he's like, to the point of them not meeting him yet. He's like, well, if it's important to you and it's important to them, like to want to meet me, like, wouldn't it have happened by now? Like, is there like more to it? She's like, nope, that's it. It's scheduling. You can just see her shutting down. Like,
yeah, like I told you, and that's I don't know why you keep digging, but that's just what it is.
Yeah. He said, so scheduling has been a problem for 2 months now. We'll go with that.
He said, okay, sure.
You're right. Okay,
that's what we'll go with. Scheduling. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, okay.
So you get a confessional from him. He's like, it's kind of really weird. I wonder if her family just doesn't support her. My family shows up for me. So,
like that is like intense, like like I said, family shaming. Your family's trash. They don't come to help you out. They don't come to support you. Oof, gross.
I'm like, is this a post decision day confessional? Because that is like harsh.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine saying that like about your wife? Oh, so she told she says she tells Shaq that she told her brother that she wants him to make her feel like he likes her. She doesn't feel that spark or affection sometimes. She doesn't feel like he's happy to even be there. Then we get a few flashbacks. They flash back to 10 days ago, 7 days ago, 5 days ago, 2 days ago. And it's basically like the camera in their apartment watching them live in different circumstances where like Kirsten said like, oh, you want me to cook you something? And then Shaq just kind of like walks out the door. And then they're like sitting together eating, but it's quiet. I'm like, y'all could have cut this from any point in time for any couple.
Just random flashes to them doing random normal stuff. They say, is there any point where Shaq's just walking around, he doesn't talk to Kirsten? Tons. We got tons of that. Like, yeah, give me all that. We're gonna spin that. I was just like, okay, all right, that's a little misleading.
Yeah, it was like,
oh my gosh, they're sitting at the counter together, not talking for 2 seconds. Scandal.
I was like, this is not great supporting evidence.
Yeah, not good. You should have come up with something better. Just not showing us those clips at all.
Yeah, they tried, but no. So she says, like, it's weird sometimes that like they're not even like touching when they're like hanging out and stuff. And he was like, well, we've never had this conversation about this, so I didn't know you felt that way.
And that's pretty much it from Shaq. He's just like, never knew you felt that way. No, Kirsten, of course I like you. I like you a lot.
No validation.
None. He just says, wow, sucks to be you, I guess.
Even on After Party, this stirred up some anger again in Kirsten because she was like, I'm getting mad again watching that.
Yeah,
because he didn't have anything to say back.
Yeah, like in the moment I said, well, maybe this is like weird editing that they just didn't include the part where he says, why would you say that? Of course I like you. Why would you even think something like that? He just says, yeah, I guess that's weird. But I haven't said that in a while.
So that's not a good sign. So they're sitting very dressed up. This is another scene. They're sitting very dressed up in the kitchen. He's helping her put her heels on. She's talking about how she used to go to her grandma's house every weekend, and then they go to church with them. and we get a confessional from him, and he's like, they're both very strong-minded individuals, so it's very important that they prioritize their faith in this relationship as well. So they're going to church, but I'm guessing it's a Tuesday afternoon because the church is empty.
Y'all put on your church clothes for this? Right. I thought we were going to go worship somewhere. I thought we were going to, do some praise and worship. We just walked to an empty church and sat down. I said, you could have done this in your street clothes.
Right.
I don't know why we had to get all dressed up for this.
Exactly. Like jeans and a blouse would have sufficed.
Yeah.
I don't know why they dressed up.
I really thought we were about to see some church action.
I did too. So, yeah, he says he grew up near a church. And so, he was always going to church. He continued going through college, and he wants church to be like a safe haven for them to go together. And he tells her like he's been praying for God to lead them in the right direction. He said he's been tapping into his faith when he doesn't know what to do in their relationship. And she's like, yeah, like I know we have to lean on God, but we also have to put in the work to grow.
Yeah. And we had a similar segment for Katina and Elijah on in that season where they randomly went to a church and were talking about whatever.
Yeah.
And my question now is the same question I had then. What are we doing during the experiment? Are we going to church together? We had no information. Are we not going to church at all? Because Shaq mentions, I wish I could go to church all the time, but I just don't have the time. So are we what is your current church status now? That's what I was looking for. Like, because we've had about 7 Sundays to go to church or not go to church. I was curious as to what that's like for them on a Sunday, like what their life is like.
Right, because I don't know what could be occupying their time on the Sunday morning that they wouldn't be able to kind of like establish this church going life together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just thought it was weird to not include that if you're going to bring God and church into this conversation. I was curious about what they are doing in the moment. Are they going to church? Their own individual churches separately? Do they go to one of their churches one week and another church the other week? I was very curious about that, and I felt like it was definitely missing. Or are they people that they are devout, but they don't go to church?
Everybody here is new to Nashville. They probably still, I haven't found one yet.
Haven't found a church home yet.
Yeah. But I feel like that would be, since they both are strong in their faith, you would think that could be a part of their bonding experience.
Yeah.
Finding a church together, having a community there. They're like, there are other young couples you could relate to. Like there's that possibility, but yeah, they didn't go there.
It almost feels like it was an afterthought of, church. We don't really go, but we can like go inside of one because we talk about God all the time.
They're like, let me put on this dress. I've been meaning to wear to church, but I haven't been going. So.
Yeah, it feels like a random church we went to. This isn't either one of our churches. We just went to this random church across the street.
Yeah. So yeah, it would have been really nice to get into that. So we did get one last scene with from her inviting her family over. So her brother wasn't able to make it. He did say that. He's like, I'm gonna try to make it, but he wasn't able to make it because he had to work. And so she tells Shaq, and Shaq's like, oh, okay. And she's like, yep, I have a working family.
So guess he's got to make his money rather than come and support his sister. But y'all make our own choices, I guess.
Exactly, just judging.
Would rather collect money than come support your sister. Okay, I see how it is.
We get a confessional. He's literally at work rather than meeting his sister's husband.
At work, okay, yeah, sure. Yeah,
he's like he probably picked up that shift.
Yeah.
So Kirsten is like, they have the takeout, and we've talked about this before. So she's putting the takeout on plate.
Lady, you could have invited Clint over to help cater this dinner. She's literally taking stuff out of styrofoam boxes and putting on plates.
They're busy.
Dang, Kirsten, like you could they did her dirty. Like y'all could wait and start the cameras up before, after I got the stuff out of styrofoam boxes.
Yeah. And so they give us like a time, like Shaq leaves to go get her mom from the garage. We get like 8 minutes later. Kirsten's like, oh, we better eat now because I got a headache. And hunger headaches, I can relate. Hate those. And so then 15 minutes later, Shaq comes in. He's like, I found her. Mom's finally here.
Do you think Shaq and Mom had like a off-screen conversation before this?
Right, because like what took so
what was the
long?
holdup? What was
I
the
don't
holdup?
know. Yeah.
Like he got her in the garage and they were just like, you know, shooting the breeze
She's
for
like,
a minute.
let me talk to you real quick. Yeah.
But you know, she probably also had to get mic'd up, which can be a big process in and of itself. So I don't know. I think they made it an issue on the show just to show. I mean, also because of, as Rudy reminded us on After Party, your mom was late to your wedding too, wasn't she? Yeah, she likes to be late a lot.
Yeah, I feel like they were trying to make us think that maybe she didn't come.
Yeah, well,
to support Shaq's unsupportive narrative.
I'm gonna go see if she actually showed up. I'm gonna go get her.
Right. And so we get a confessional from him. He's like, it's weird because her mom is the only one that showed up.
She only invited 2 people.
Right.
Like
50% success rate right there.
Take what you can get.
Right. And so they sit down with her mom, and he says school's been going good. Her mom asks, how has the marriage been going? And so Shaq said he feels like he is not his best self right now. He feels like with Kirsten, he was taking down that wall brick by brick, but then he realized, oh my gosh, am I building a wall for myself? Am I taking her bricks down and adding them to my wall to build it back up?
I would have such an eye roll if I was in that room. Like, why are you saying this dumb, like complicated, like metaphor? Do we need that? Who are you, Aysha?
if
taking my bricks down and I'm just building them back up on my side. Okay, we didn't need all that.
If we hear it again, he thought he struck gold with it. Like if we hear him tell
he was in the bathroom. He was in the bathroom going up with that. He's like, perfect, brick by brick. Took her bricks down, put them on my. Yeah, that. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna slay with this.
Right. And so then Kirsten adds in. She's like, she wants him to be happy to see her and happy to come home, and she doesn't want them to just exist together. And he says he wants to know that he wants to know when they'll start growing together instead of separately like they're doing now. And her mom's like, okay, words of wisdom. Put the expectations down.
Put down the expectations, bro.
You're right.
Quit expecting.
She was like, you're always going to be let down. Sorry.
So everyone's been giving kudos to Miss V, aka Kirsten's mom, for this advice. And if I'm Devon Franklin sitting at home in my PJs watching this episode, I'm like, I said the exact same thing to them when I met with them earlier this season. Like, do we not remember that? You're taking my thing I said to them. I said exactly that. They're like, oh yeah, that's really good advice. I said the same thing. I said the exact same thing.
They're like, when were you here? When did we talk to you? So she says, just enjoy each other, relax, smile, breathe. I do think that this is their issue. They have put so much pressure on this relationship. They no longer can even see enjoying each other, just having fun. It's so hard to think in context of like these aren't fake relationships, but relationships outside of Married at First Sight. Every time you hang out, you're not having a growth conversation. You're not talking about how far you've come. You're not talking about the issues in your relationship. You're living life together. You may have check-ins where you have those kind of conversations, but it's gotten to the point now where I don't know if it's just a part of like, okay, we're part of the show. So we should be talking about these things, but it has just put so much pressure on them, not thinking they're where they're supposed to be, or they're not doing what they need to be doing. And so they can't even just enjoy.
And part of that is the show, right? The show is putting this time constraint on their
Mm-hmm.
relationship. They don't even necessarily need to be putting on the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying, we only got 2 months to figure this out. No, you don't. You can
No.
say yes and figure it out later.
Yeah, you
And
have your life.
yeah, and this part of the advice is where mom gets like all my kudos, where she says, the love grows in the living, not the expecting. Yes, perfect. Like you said, we're just living our daily lives when that's how we fall in love with each other, as we're just going on dates, having
Mm-hmm.
fun, relaxing, smiling. That's where you fall in love. That's where you get your foundation for your relationship, not constant, conversations. And part of that is, like I said, the time constraint the show puts on. Part of
Yeah.
that is the constant questions from production of like, okay, now talk about this aspect of your relationship. So that can seep into your mind and say, we need to have all these conversations right now. We need to figure out where our future is, what we're doing right at this very moment. So yeah, it's incepting their minds, so they're
Yeah.
not being able to just live.
Exactly. And that is part of the issue. Because even I can't was it on After Party that Kirsten was saying, like, after when the cameras go away, like, I still have hope that things would be better. Or she was like, I still have a little hope for after, but it's just hard to get there if you don't even feel like you have a reason to say yes. You have to
Yeah.
see beyond decision day. You have to see the potential at the very least. So that was it for Shaq and Kirsten. What are you thinking for ratings?
Did I take them down to a 2 last week?
You did.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave them there because I don't. Shaq is harshing my vibe. He's very petty and very, seemingly over it. So I'm gonna leave them at a 2.
Yeah, it's been like that for a few episodes now. Like, even before the retreat, Shaq was like this, and I think it would be different if we were starting to see like him go back up and then meet somewhere in the middle. But I feel like Kirsten is just craving any ounce of interest,
Any
and he's just not
validation.
in validation, and like he's not even willing to verbalize it. Like, I understand it may take time to learn the type of things that she'll appreciate if he wants to do sweet things for her, but to even just be able to say, look, no, I care about you. Could you imagine him with Nicole? Nicole
Oh my
needs
gosh,
that constant
he would
validation.
go crazy.
Exactly. He
I,
thought Kirsten was bad.
and even in his like verbiage and vocabulary this episode, where he's talking about we're growing, we're not growing together, we're not intertwining. I would say, oh, is that a fact? If I was Kirsten, I'd be like, oh, so we're not growing together? That's news to me, kind of. I thought we were. He's just like, nope, we're growing separately.
Right.
Oh, okay. That's how you're feeling about it.
Exactly. I just always on such different pages, and 6 days is not enough to. I mean, I guess they could end up saying yes by thinking like,
I,
I'm
I think
saying yes to more time.
I think if Shaq could get his head out of his butt and just say yes to more time. I mean, that's kind
Yeah.
of been the tenor of the last few seasons of yes to more time for many couples. I think if Shaq can see past himself, because Shaq has been the one harping on decision day, 2 months. We got to figure it out by 2 months, by decision day.
Mhm.
So if he can see himself through the 2 months and just try and make it work past that, he should say yes and try and work on it. But who
Yeah.
knows?
Yep, exactly. So I'm also a 2. I just don't have much hope. All right. Which couple do you want to talk about next?
Let's hit the couple that I mean, I guess they had some progress this episode, as incremental as their progress can be. Let's go to Eris and Jasmine.
I feel like their progress is like fake progress.
Yeah.
Like, made for TV progress.
Let me show that I'm trying progress. Let me fake that I'm trying. So they come
Right.
back. They come back from the retreat. They're getting in bed for the night. He thanks her for making the treat go smoothly and make it fun for everyone. He says he really feels that everyone's on the right path after the retreat, and they all left in good spirits. which is a bummer for us audience. We want fights and drama.
We want an explosive retreat
We don't
episode.
want good spirits. He says that you really made efforts and improvement to work on our issues, but you need to keep speaking up. Like, keep speaking up. And he asks her, what do you think I need to do? She says, hold on, let me get my script. You need to create the safe space for me and make me feel like you're listening and you care, and find ways to improve our intimation. Cut. Jasmine, you've been through this before. It's intimacy. That's the word, intimacy. Oh my, Montre, I'm so sorry. Intimacy. Got you. Yes. Let me take that again. Let me take it again. All right. Everyone, quiet, all set. Action. I need you to create a safe space for me and make me feel like you're listening and that you care, and find ways to improve our intimacy. Perfect. He's like behind the camera, like, you got it.
You got it.
Yeah.
All right, that's one good take.
Hey, we got it, guys.
It's ridiculous.
Jasmine and Eris get up and leave and go to their own apartments for the night.
Because I'm telling you, if anybody is talking to me with the level of energy that Eris had in this conversation, I'm saying, no, you need to go to sleep and I will talk to you later. Like,
He sounds like he's already asleep, but he's like mumbling in his sleep. That's what he sounds like.
I don't know if he was exhausted. I mean, we know we get this from Eris often, so it couldn't have been that, but maybe he was a little bit more more tired than normal, but it was just,
I felt like he was speaking the way he normally speaks.
it felt so like, it felt like he wanted to be anywhere else besides having this conversation. I just don't know how Jasmine didn't laugh in his face. Like, you've got to be kidding. Montre. You've got to be kidding me.
Oh man, but he says, I would be fine if you initiated a hand grab or a hug. We still at a hand grab or a hug
from Decision Day. Yep.
God, not even like, you can't even open the door for a kiss. You can't. Like,
nothing on the cheek.
Nothing. Just nothing. He says, the more we do it, the more it'll feel natural. But the longer we didn't do it, it felt more awkward. Duh. And yeah, I mean, that was pretty much the end of that bed conversation. You're like, all right, everybody wrap it up for the night.
A hand grab and a hug.
He couldn't, in that moment, he could have said, I think if we up the level of intimacy, or we try to kiss something. And I mean, they were kissing even not that long ago. They stopped because they felt, it wasn't it. We are still at a hand grab or a hug.
I can't even wrap my head around how 2 months into this marriage that's the level of intimacy they're at.
And not even trying to get past that level. He's cutting it off at that level.
He's saying that's what he'll allow at this point.
One of these two things that are the basic thing that you can do with family.
I had to say goodbye to the streets. I put my dating profile on snooze. I was intimate with someone the night before he found, was it the night before?
Right before he found out that he was getting married.
That he was getting married at first sight. This man is open to a hand grab.
He's putting the halts on anything past a hug or a hand grab.
It's ridiculous. And it's just like, just stop stringing her along. Just say you're not into her.
Whoa, respect my boundaries. Let's leave it at a hug or a hand grab. And not a hand grab that's too long. You can grab my hand for like 5 seconds, but you gotta let it go.
And I'm not, and I know he wants this to. I'm not saying like Eris is manipulative or anything like this. I'm just saying, like, I know that he does not want to hurt her feelings by just like, I just don't like her. So he's painting this picture like he's a reformed good guy who's trying to do things the right way now.
And he's painting it, in After Party, he says, I've done, I've had these relationships where it gets physical way too fast, and so it doesn't work out. But I mean, sir, this is 2 months, and you're at a hand grab and a hug.
Yeah,
like there's taking your time, and there's just going at a snail's pace.
Right. Well, there's taking your time. There's going at a snail's pace, and then there's Eris because he just doesn't want to.
And he doesn't want to say that.
Exactly. And I just feel like he would spare her feelings because he, even on After Party, was like, yeah, at this point, like, I know Jasmine wants to, but
I know she wants to be intimate. She's all over me. Oh my gosh, every night. Can we do it? Can we do it? Can we? Well, we know that's not the case.
It feels like, and we always say this. We don't want to read too much into After Party, but I'm mocking us. But it feels like she is having a very hard time watching these clips back. Do you get that vibe?
Okay. Yes, for sure. Because she always has an attitude after they come out of the clip. She's like, well, let me tell you what exactly happened.
Right. So she's not loving what she's seeing back, which doesn't make me think she's in a happy, loving marriage at the moment.
Totally. So the next segment, we get Jasmine and Gina are going to take a stripper pole lesson. In confessional, Jasmine says, me and Gina, neither of our husbands are attracted to us. So we're going to do this to make ourselves feel sexy. We're doing it for us, not for them. They take the lesson. They work the pole. They try to clap their butts. Spin on the pole. They twerk.
Yeah.
Do some routines. Eris, out of nowhere, just pops up in the middle of this. And, he comes in. He says, I thought I'd surprise Jasmine today. Someone in production, Jasmine's taking a stripper pole lesson. He said, oh, okay. Gina's going to be there too. He said, oh, word? Drop me that Addy. Where's it at? Where's it at?
Could you imagine? Oh my god.
Say what? Say what now? Gina? Dick Gina?
Because even though Chris may have said that use he didn't even, did he say thick? That she's thicker than he would have than he's used to.
When he talked about Nicole,
yeah. Eris likes thick with two C's.
He said,
yes.
Oh, Gina gonna be there working the pole? Let me go. Because as soon as he walks in, he is observing. And I took note of where Eris entered and where all the ladies were. In my mind, I spaced it out. Jasmine's in one spot, Gina's in another spot.
You need a whiteboard.
Eris's eyes were definitely where I put Gina at in the room. For most of when he came in, he was like, hey, Jasmine.
He's out. I'm just taking notes for Clint.
I'll be there in a second. Gina, what's up, Gina? How you? I definitely took note of that. I said, okay. So in the confession, he said, he heard she was doing a pole dance class. He thought he'd come and surprise her. Gina says, okay, well, I guess I'll take off now. He says, okay. And he does watch as she leaves. I took note of what Eris was doing in this whole segment. He was like, all right, girl. Yeah.
So everybody wants Gina. Except for Clint.
Apparently.
No, Clint, I feel like Clint wants
I feel like Clint is down. He's just scared to say it because he doesn't want to be the one, saying he's copped feelings. Well, we'll get to that when we get to Clint and Gina. So yes, Gina takes off. He tells Jasmine, I've never seen you in this element. Well, he says in the confession, he says, I've never seen her in this element. I knew she could dance, but seeing her like this is sexy. So she does a pole dance for him, and he throws money at her, makes it rain on her with what I'm assuming is fake money. He says, I should get a pole for the house. He should get a pole for his house. He said, I didn't say anything about you having a pole in my house. I just said I should get a pole for my house. Not necessarily for you, Jasmine, but for some other people.
Ridiculous.
So it's interesting because, Jasmine, who was so shy to talk about sex on the honeymoon, she referenced herself as being a pastor's daughter. She says, I don't want to talk about all that stuff. Now she is here on a stripper pole. Later, we're going to have a whole bunch of sex stuff in a box.
Hey, it's not the same lane. This is pole dancing.
It sounds like someone that took a pole dancing class in their past.
I have on a bachelorette party trip. It takes skill. You have to have. I was sore from just the lessons, and I did nothing.
But was it as
to write home?
Was it as seductive as this was?
Oh, yes, there was.
Was there twerking? I'm sure there wasn't twerking and butt clapping in your bachelorette party pole dancing.
There was like areas to freestyle, do what you want to do, but not the specifics. Like, okay, now everybody twerk, but
everybody twerk. Right. Don't.
But yeah, pole dancing, guys. Pole dancing lessons are a popular thing.
It's an art and a skill.
It is.
That was interesting. They were all after party. Keisha says, "Yeah, Bachelorette Keisha used to have a stripper pole in her house, apparently."
Was she married before him, or is he her first husband?
Oh no, this is her second husband, I believe. He even had a child with her first husband, I think.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so Mr. Brad James, 2 first names, don't trust him, is not her first husband. I thought Brad's take was interesting.
I might argue Reed is a first name.
Reed is a weird first name, okay? Reed
there are people with that first name.
I know, but not a lot, I don't think. Don't turn this around on me.
Just saying.
I thought that Brad's take was interesting because he told Jasmine after party, he's like, he wants you to show him what you can do without him having to tell you. What did you think of that advice of that comment from Brad?
No, because it's different if he's attracted to her and he's just trying to figure out how they can grow in their physical intimacy. But she shouldn't have to prove to him, have to put on a show to make him more attracted to her.
I can't think of anything more embarrassing than trying to seduce someone that is not attracted to you and be kind of like, thanks, but no thanks.
He's like, didn't work.
Yeah, ooh, how embarrassing for you.
No. Oh my gosh. I'd rather her walk away.
What did you think of the stripper pole scene altogether?
It was funny because I've seen a few people say this. They were there for 2 very different reasons. Like the way that Jasmine explained it was like, oh, we're here because we're both in the same position where our husbands just don't find us attractive. Mm-hmm. But I feel like Jasmine was there to gain that confidence in herself of like, okay, I'm sexy and let me be able, I can find a way to showcase this with Aries so that we can grow in our intimacy. Gina is thinking
this is for 2 men in
the future. Yes, literally.
This is for Mac.
She's like, we'll Mac like this. Yeah. This is not for Clint whatsoever. So it was like, Jasmine, you are not on the same page. Gina is doing this for Gina and Gina alone.
You better not even show this footage to Clint at all.
Did she tell Clint she was going? Mm-mm. We don't know.
He thought she was at the salon.
Right. She's like, actually, I could sneak out on my lunch break and join you, Jasmine. But Clint never finds out about this.
So what did you do today? Oh, nothing. Just, same old, same old.
And Aries is like, man, I saw Gina
at the stripper pole. Oh yeah, and Jasmine was there too, I guess. But yeah, I saw Gina doing stuff.
Maybe this is when we get on the preview that Clint's like, I was shocked.
I was blindsided.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we come back to with Eris and Jasmine. They are in their room. They have gotten a kind of a surprise intimacy box. We get a Dr. Pepper.
The latest intimacy
They
box
said,
we've
"Say
ever
what?
seen.
Say what? Y'all are like doing more stuff here. Take this. It's not too late." Pastor Cal says, "With my regards, Pastor Cal. Do with this box what you will." Next time we meet, I expect a progress report, long and detailed.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we did get Pepper saying that now that they're open to intimacy, they've given them an intimacy box.
Who told them they were open to intimacy? He said
this man just had a hand grab and a hug 10 minutes ago.
They said, "Oh, they got something."
He said, "She want a stripper pole? Give him a box. Let's see if this sparked anything." So they go through the box. He puts on a blindfold first while she tickles his feet. He says, "I don't really feel it on my feet." Okay, now I understand why you made me take the Eris and Jasmine section.
Absolutely.
He said, "I don't understand. I don't feel it on my feet, but maybe my gooch." I like Jasmine. She's like, "Oh." She said, "Okay, Eris, calm down. Like, we not need all that." That okay, Eris was like, "Okay, that was too far."
Literally.
Okay,
but I like, yes, we had that.
Listen, if you didn't watch After Party to be explained what a gooch is, I'm not going to explain it to you. This is a family-oriented podcast. Look it up online. Make sure you're in incognito mode as you do it. If you want to know, I'm not going to explain it here.
I did have to look up. I when he said it, I was like, and so I looked up on Urban Dictionary, and there's a definition there for you.
Your algorithm's going to be problematic now.
But I will say okay, disturbing. But the most disturbing part about this were the constant feet shots.
That man has a gigantic, like, what do you call them? Toe thumb or whatever. I said that thing.
Big toe?
Yeah, big toe. That thing looks like I don't know. It looked huge in comparison to the rest of his foot.
They literally kept cutting to it.
Gross.
They cut to it like 3 times before she even started massaging it.
Terrible. But I mean, breaking news, y'all. Eris massaged her feet. I mean, usually it's her.
News alert.
Yeah, usually it's her doing stuff for him. But he's like, "You know what? Put on his blindfold." He starts massaging her feet. She really.
Why did he have to put on the blindfold? I wonder.
I think it's part of his kink. I think he gets off on that. She really enjoyed it. So next up, he puts on the handcuffs, gets on his stomach, so that his hands are behind his back, handcuffed, as she is massaging his back with the little rolling massager that they got in the box. Okay, the back massage I get. Why did you need to be handcuffed behind your back while this was happening? This man, something's going on there.
And even for him to say on After Party, like when we get to the next piece of this, that, he's not typically into this, but there's a character on Billions that is. So he decided, why not try it? I'm like, okay, Eris.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. This has never happened to you before. You've never been handcuffed in bed on your stomach while being, had stuff done to you. It looked like he was too comfortable with this. He's like, all right. So
he's like, I got it.
Next, I'm gonna handcuff myself and I'm gonna put myself on my stomach and you're gonna do stuff to me. She's like, what? Like massage you? He's like, I guess if that's all you want to do, but I'm down to make it weird if you are.
He just goes from 0 to 100. Like,
yeah.
Because if I were Jasmine in this situation, who wants more intimacy with him, but she's like, wait, you just told me a hand grab or a hug, and now
you're asking if I want to be a dominatrix.
Right.
Like where's the line? I don't understand. You just it was so confusing because this person that has expressed no sexual interest in Jasmine. Was like, so you want to be a dominatrix? You want to beat me? You want to like?
Because you can't even like Jasmine read the room, you know?
Right.
No.
How about we start with a kiss? How about like anything else other than will you smack me around?
Right.
Because yes, we get to the point in this scene where he says, like, would you ever think about being a dominatrix? She actually says, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I said, okay, interesting. He says, maybe you could slap me. She says, you want me to slap you? And she starts out like real. She says, oh, okay. You can tell she's very like nervous, but she's like, oh, okay. She like gives him a little tap. She says, no, you gotta go harder. She says, oh, okay.
She's scared.
No, harder. And then she goes, boom. And he says, okay, all right. Yeah, I felt that one.
And on after party, she was like, I was scared to slap him because I was thinking all this stuff that's happened the past 7 weeks. This slap might be coming from a different place.
Might be some rage behind the slap. In a confessional, he says, I do consider myself to be a sexual person. And, that's something I was really looking forward to in this marriage, finding out what married sex was like. He feels like but he does feel like there's been an intimacy shift starting with them. So, who knows? Married, he keeps harping on this, like, what is married sex like?
For someone so curious.
He's just sure not trying to find out anytime soon, apparently.
Which just shows us he's just not into her, and unfortunately probably would never be, which is okay because she could do so much better.
So much better, Jasmine. You don't have to compromise yourself for any other person. Like,
she's gonna, if they both say no, or if one of them says no on decision day and they are not together, she's going to be just blown away by the next guy that comes in her life. I just feel like you can only go up from here.
We get these people on the show that's like, inundated with DMs and Twitter messages. I'm sure Jasmine is that person this season. People that say, you deserve so much better. I could treat you so much better than Eris. And I'm sure that she'd have her pick of the litter after the show is aired and they're no longer together.
Yeah. I mean, and like she's stepping her game up. We did notice, and there was a lot of chatter about it on Twitter. She is rocking a new grill. I'm not sure if it's like, I don't know the details about teeth. I don't know if they're veneers or what, but she has, it was, I noticed it on After Party and I was like, what? And I went on Twitter and everybody was talking about it, and she has posted a picture and you could see it. But she's like, hey, I feel like that's like the equivalent of a woman changing her hair. Like she is making some changes in her life.
These are my breakup teeth.
Right.
So next up, Jasmine and Eris go to, what are we calling this? A psychic, a medium?
I would say we could say like a medium based on what he was saying, like that the lady was making some connections.
Yeah, I think she even like said something about her being a medium, because I think they used both terms, but we'll just go with medium here. So before we get into this, Aysha, I know
but I feel like mediums don't also read you currently, That's
true. It's like, because mediums like specifically talk to the dead.
Yes, but she was she was doing both.
Hey, she's multi-hyphenate, okay?
She is a psychic medium.
Yeah, exactly. She got all your business. Now, but Aysha, before we go into this, I feel like you have to have some sort of experience with psychics, mediums, whatever you want to call them.
I don't.
You don't?
I don't. I did used to watch, like, Monica the Medium had a show, and I watched every single episode.
Definitely seems like an Aysha activity. Let's call it medium. Let's call palms red.
I do have a friend whose family went to a medium, and they it was spot on with communicating with like their relatives who had passed. So I would not be opposed.
I'm sure you would not. It's too taboo for too witchcraft for me.
The hair on your arm stands up when you think about it.
I feel like you have a mother. She's either alive or maybe she's alive or dead.
There was
is that right? Alive or
there
dead?
was there was a woman on TikTok who was doing that, who was not official at all, and was on live constantly taking people's money and taking the gifts that people were sending. And she's just like, okay, I think there's like, I'm seeing a man or woman. It was just so bad. And then people just started like clipping like the worst of her readings. She finally stopped, I think.
You have a mother. She's alive or dead. One of the two.
Mm-hmm.
One of the two. You either knew her or you did not.
Could go either way.
But yeah, they get inside. She has the psychic. I'm just gonna call her psychic. Psychic has them both write down their signature on a piece of paper. She says he examines their handwriting. She says, for Eris, your handwriting is stating that your spirit has a strong energy, strong confidence. But I see in this last name here, your energy is more confusing and weak. That means you're still discovering who you are. For Jasmine, she says, your name written out in your writing portrays strong and powerful. It says, I know who I am, but you also question so much. It's not exactly the same thing, but you carry a lot of fear of mistakes and regrets. In both of your readings, decisions are being made. She then puts some, I don't know if they're tarot cards, what kind of cards they are. She puts some cards on the paper that they had signed, and she reveals what the cards mean. She says, your spirits have begun going in blinded like a fool with no knowledge, and your spirit has been holding a guard up for your heart. This is for Jasmine. You're holding a guard up for your heart. Jasmine says, yeah, I have been fearful of making a mistake in my decision, so that makes sense. It's like I said, I sense that he really means well, and he's a good man and wants the best for you, and that she senses a connection between them. At this point, I wondered if Jasmine had hired this lady, told
Jasmine
her what to say.
or the producers.
Yeah, one of the two. I'm getting a Eris for you. I'm getting a female in your life. It's a familial connection. The name starts with a F.
I'm seeing a G.
Falina. Oh yes, you need to cut ties with this person immediately. Get them out of your life. Don't ever talk to this person or get advice on your relationship ever again.
Right.
But she reads Eris's cards and she says, I really sense a female presence. I see a woman in the kitchen. You're 5 or 6, which this can really be for anyone.
Mm-hmm.
You're sitting in a chair and she's bringing you food. Who is this person? Eris says, that's my great grandma. Medium says, yeah, she wants to see you settle down, and she likes Jasmine very much, and she feels Jasmine has an old soul. I said, oh, watch out, Dom. So somebody's coming for your job. Someone's coming for your block. You better watch it. The psychic reads Jasmine's hand. She says, your spirit right now says it's the time for your eyes to be on yourself. You've done so much for others for so long. But, I sense you're really attracted to this man, but you're questioning everything. You need to be patient with him. He has growing up to do, but his heart is good.
Okay, psychic aside, you mentioning Dom made me think of something. So, Married at First Sight put out something a few weeks ago, like, what if the couples were switched around? Okay, so what do you think about? I know what we've seen on the previews with Dom and Clint, but what do you think about Dom and Eris? Do you think she's too direct for Eris, or
he says he wants
what
direct?
He needs? Yeah, he does say that.
I mean, it seems like her body type is his liking, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I think that'd be good. Do I see Eris going out with a hunting rifle with her family? I'm not sure.
Right.
I don't think he would really complain about the excursions that they went on. So maybe it would work. I don't know.
Yeah, I for some reason I can just picture them having fun.
Yeah,
maybe they would never get, to the point of diving deep. But I do think that they could enjoy each other's company.
I mean, the problem is we didn't get enough of Dom for me to really
we
parse out how she would have been with someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Jasmine says, she came into this not knowing what she wanted, but she has to come to terms with what it is. She came in this knowing, like, thinking she knew what she wanted, but she's coming to terms with actually what is happening, and she's scared that she's going to regret making the wrong choice. The psychic says, well, you both have a high level energy. You need to make this decision from the heart, because a connection like this doesn't happen every day. I said, okay. Sure.
Like,
I don't know. I don't think you know who you're talking to.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Connection.
Only.
What these two have, like, connection is a strong word.
Yeah, very strong. So yeah, that's the Jasmine and Eris of it all for this week. Let's hit the ratings. What are you thinking?
I think no matter how they try to twist it, I think that they are not working out, and I'm gonna go a 1.
A 1. Where was I last week?
You were at a 2, but you were a 1 previously.
Let's see. Let's take it to. Let's keep it at a 2. I do think that they're both going to say yes on decision day, because they're both going to say we could take more time with this. We could see what's going. We could see what's up.
Mm-hmm.
I do think he's starting to at least feign a little interest, like a teeny bit. So I'm going to say a 2. I do kind of want to take it down to 1, because I don't see this happening after, like, by the point of reunion. I'm really feeling a Mike and Jasmina trajectory for them. But let's keep it at a 2 for now.
Okay. So yeah, last but not least, let's dive into Clint and Gina. So we get this first scene. Y'all, this is what it's come to. We are on a ride with Clint and Hank on our way to Starbucks.
Give me a Clint and Hank scene any day over
him and Gina.
Really anything with Gina.
Yeah, it was pleasant. I mean, Hank was having the time of his life with the window down in the back seat.
I see it all the time, but I would be so scared if I had a dog to, like, leave the whole window open. Like, I have this fear that, like, a dog's gonna jump out of the car.
Yeah, I mean, you do have to realize, like, that they are scared. They would be scared to do that out of, like, a moving car. I would be scared sitting still. I also don't do it because my dogs, as you can see if you're watching the YouTube video, are small. And Pepper's like 22 pounds, but she's still short. So she
Queen.
Right.
Our short, thick queen.
Yeah, she is thick with 2 C's. And then Cinnamon's only like 14 pounds. So what I do,
what I do.
I open my sunroof, but
in my Porsche, I let down the convertible top.
That's why I hesitated. But if I want to do the side windows, I crack it the smallest little bit. Never have it all the way down. But Hank's a big boy.
Hank's a big dude. He's a big old shaggy dog.
Yeah. Clint says that him and Hank have a full-on bromance. Clint gets a pumpkin cream cold brew. Do you think this is for Clint or for Gina?
I don't know. I said, what even is that? I'm not a coffee person by any means, by any stretch at all. So I was just like, oh, that sounds gross.
I mean, it's a very, very, very popular drink.
I wonder if this puts us in, October season. Isn't that, pumpkin season for Starbucks?
Pumpkin season is the fall. I mean, we got to see their wedding date for somebody? Was it July? I think it was July last year.
Yeah, I think it was July. So.
Yeah. So yeah, he got the pumpkin cream cold brew, and then he got Hank a pup cup. Hank loved it.
A pup cup. We got a pup cup for my guy Hank. A pup cup.
I feel like I could feel that through the screen.
I'm about to clean my microphone after this recording is over.
And then Clint says, "Don't tell Gina," but he thinks Hank loves him more. I will say they could be good friends, because for Gina to trust Clint to just take Hank on car rides.
That's what I said. The first time I saw that Gina was in the car, I said, dang, she's letting him like just go roll solo with her guy. I was like, she at least trusts him in a certain, a certain capacity.
I'm trying to think who has taken the dogs alone in their car? My mom for sure. And I asked for a full report card. I was like, "How was Pepper? Did she move around?" But
Were you nervous first time?
I don't think anybody else is taking my dogs in their car by themselves. That's the level of trust.
That's the ultimate sign of trust right there.
It really is. Anything could happen. So then we get a scene of Clint working out with Mac.
Mac is back. The Mac attack is back in the building. I was like, oh my God, it's Mac. They didn't show this in the preview. I was like, oh my goodness. But then Mac proved why he was not interesting, like in the least, on his short time on the show.
It's funny because they didn't even introduce him. I'm like, you know how many new viewers you might have gotten between when Mac was on this show and now?
Yeah. Who is this guy?
Right.
That's a friend of Clint's, huh?
Exactly. Their last episode was see, I have to scroll down so far. Their last episode was episode 8.
Which is a lot considering
10 episodes ago.
Considering the first 3 episodes are all like individual weddings.
Right.
That they weren't even in.
Exactly. So he's working out with Clint. Clint, Mac asked how things were, and Clint was like, "Well, we're still married."
Mac's like, "Damn."
And Mac was like, "So are moves being made?" And Clint was like, "No moves. Like, I accidentally grazed her butt the other day, and I panicked.
Had to apologize for it."
Yeah.
Max says, "But I mean, if you were to make a move, let's just say hypothetically, you wanted to make some kind of move. What do you think Gina would respond to? Just hypothetically, I'm not taking notes or anything, but let's just say that you were going to make a move on Gina. What would you do?"
Exactly.
For no reason at all. Just,
We get a confessional from Mac, and he's like, he's surprised that they're not attracted to each other. He thinks Clint is good looking, and he's like, he's pretty sure that Gina's attracted to him because he's attracted to Gina.
They showed this on After Party, and they did the picture-in-picture of Gina, and Gina was like, "Oh, right. Is that so? I'm attracted to you."
Right. Like, bold statement. Okay.
You made that assumption.
Right. And he also names all these similarities between him and Gina, like, they're both hardworking and all this stuff. And so he's clearly we're getting to see him profess how he is attracted to Gina, flat out. Right. And so in his conversation with Clint, he does tell Clint he's gone on a couple dates. He doesn't feel bad about it because he only knew Dom for 14 days. And Clint's like, "Yeah, you got to get out there. You got to keep pushing."
They knew each other 14 days. I thought it was less than that.
Me too, because it was after the honeymoon?
Yeah, so like what, 7, 8, 9?
I guess so. Maybe it took a while for that. Because remember, she was gone for 3 days.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Some time passed. Mac said he's just looking towards the future. And Mac asked, like, "Clint, what's in your future?" And Clint's like, "Well, a lot of sailing. And if Gina's a part of it, if she's in the picture, then great."
I got a regatta coming up, like I do, just taking in life. I would actually watch a Clint spinoff with Clint and Hank in a regatta having fun. I'd watch an episode or 2 of that.
Yes. I will say that's the best thing that's come out of this relationship is Clint and Hank. He's gonna really miss Hank.
He is. They're gonna get to decision day, and it's gonna Gina gets to decision day, and there's just a note waiting for her. "I've taken Hank.
Right.
Don't try to find us.
He's in good hands.
He's in good hands. I'm gonna take care of him. I love him. Don't try to look for us. We want to be together. Don't try and break us up. It's me and Hank for the rest of our lives. We're moving away from Tennessee. You'll never find us. Don't even try looking."
Nice knowing you.
Nice knowing you. Thanks for introducing me to Hank.
Right. So we get another scene where they go to see Marlon at a salon. I don't know if this was her salon or just a different salon, but they're there to get Clint's haircut. Clint says he's a big outdoorsy guy. So always the length has just been easier to maintain. And Marlon was like, will you still love him if he cuts it all off? She's like, either way.
She was like, Marlon obviously does not know the situation here.
Right. She's like, I don't love him now.
Don't love him at all. Don't say that. Like,
no matter what his hair looks like.
She took a pause. She was like, I don't care. Either way.
He said either way.
Either way. Either way.
So he starts cutting. He's like, Marlon was like, you're gonna go from Jesus to Bradley Cooper.
Let's calm down now.
He cuts quite a bit off. Because I didn't realize how thick Clint's hair was. He took maybe like a couple inches off the length, but he thinned it out a lot.
I felt like it was in a weird limbo zone where it wasn't enough that he cut off. It was just like, okay, you cut off.
He
some
still
of
had
it?
like a little curl back.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all. I was like, that looks a lot worse. It kind of looks like he just like sprayed his hair with some water, like cut off a few things. It's like, all right, you're good. I was like, I don't like that better. I liked what you had better.
I feel like it looked better when he did it later.
I guess I just felt like the length of the hair was a weird in between length.
Yeah, like either go short, not short, but no hang time.
Yeah, no hang time.
So we get a confessional where Regina's like, he's got some swag. He's looking good. This might be what I was missing in our marriage. Okay, Gina.
All right, Gina. Sure, yeah.
Girl,
that's what'll do it.
Right. So then we get this last scene, which we were kind of curious about last week with Dr. Pepper and Pastor Cal. So they decided to make this trip to visit Clint and Gina because they felt like Clint and Gina were struggling the most.
They got to town early for decision day. And production was like, listen, you're here. Can you just go visit one of the couples, the one that needed the most? They're like,
because where was there like this? I'm specifically remember like Mirla when she was drunk and showed up to talk to Dr. Pepper. Like, where's that where they each have that one-on-one like real talk?
Yeah, they did it for like 2 seasons and then stopped it because they didn't do it.
That was good.
No, I thought that was a good thing to do. Like because they visited with them separately.
Yeah,
and had them come together. That's a really smart way to do it. I don't know why they stopped.
Get some honesty.
I think that was when they got the pay cuts for the experts. And the experts were like, listen, I'm gonna come like twice a season, and that's about it.
They said we'll come together to one of the
listen,
couples.
Y'all got to pay us extra for this special trip because this was not in our contract when y'all decided to cut our pay. So you got to pay us some extra.
Right. So yeah, they're with Gina and Clint because they're struggling the most. Dr. Pepper asked about his haircut. He said he feels lighter, feels like he could fly away. And then Dr. Pepper says, so you're 1 week from decision day. Why did Gina act like that was the first time she had heard that?
So what?
She was like
crazy.
Shocked. Yeah. And then Dr. Pepper asks, okay, so did y'all do what I recommended? And we get a flashback to her movie recommendations.
Yo. I did like when Pepper says, so we're here to talk about accountability and responsibility because y'all have been doing what we told you, and they're going to blame us for this when y'all not working out. Y'all need to take accountability and responsibility for what y'all didn't do because they're going to blame us.
Exactly. And so they said, she's like, have y'all watched the movies? They're like, no. She's like, but then what was I doing here that week?
You wasted my time. What did I come all the way over here for if you just weren't going to do what I said to do? Come on, guys.
I told you to watch Succession. You didn't watch it.
Now you've been spoiled. I tried to warn you.
Exactly.
No point even watching it now.
Right. And Clint was like, it's a time thing.
I thought she was I thought Pepper was going to flip a table.
Yeah, she was so mad.
Like, damn it.
He said it's a time thing. She's like, I bet if I gave you some money, you'd find some time then. She's like, I really want y'all to do these things. Clint's like, it's not that we're anti.
Meanwhile, Cal is just in the other seat like, so have y'all had sex yet, though? That's the question. That's what I came to find out.
He's like, movie schmovie. What are you talking about?
Whatever, Pepper.
Right. But she was not happy that they have not taken up her movie recommendations. But are you surprised, Dr. Pepper? We all knew they were not going to watch those movies.
No, Dr. Pepper, we're not going to sit down and watch Driving Miss Daisy. I don't even know where we can stream that at nowadays.
She's like, the local public library.
Go to Blockbuster. Pepper, come on.
They're like, tell us something that's on Netflix right now.
Yeah, come on.
Top 10. Then we'll watch it. So then Pastor Cal was like, y'all are looking really comfortable. You look like you're comfortable with each other.
As they are 3 feet apart on the couch. Clint has his arm behind the couch, away from Gina. Not even like his arm around her. Like, right. Just all the back to the couch.
Acted like she was snuggled into his shoulder.
He like had his arm around her. Like, no. He had his arm
could fit
draped over the back of the couch. You can fit another person in between them, too.
You could fit Hank.
That's where Hank belongs. That's where Hank probably was. Like, what are you talking about, Pastor Cal?
And so then
you need to approve your prescription for your glasses, Pastor Cal.
Right. Gina says her feelings just haven't gotten there. Dr. Pepper was like, well, there was a lot of touching during the wedding. And Gina was like, we were just caught up in the moment. Because usually she looks at stuff with a positive mindset.
Yeah, okay.
And so Pastor Cal asked if like what they want out of life, is it not compatible? And Clint was like, well, there are definitely some lines that blend and there's some lines that deviate.
Gibberish and gobbledygook.
Right.
What are you
there's a little of this, a little of that.
What are you talking about?
And so then he's like, they're both success oriented and driven. He's like, they just don't have that yearn to get romantic with each other, and so that's their stopgap.
So, but you know, you mentioned how they said, well, at the wedding they were just basically going through the motions. I call BS on that, because we're not talking about like the elephant in the room, which is the athletic comment.
Mm-hmm.
Because before that, on the honeymoon, I remember them going to that
and the redhead comment.
Yes, I remember them going to that river on the way to the waterfall they never got to,
mm-hmm.
and they were not like making out, but they were hugged up on each other for a moment. I think they even maybe pecked a kiss or something in the moment. So, I mean, y'all were feeling something before the red-headed athleticness of it all. Like, yeah. I feel like they're BSing here a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, it was a wedding. What else were we supposed to do?
What'd you expect?
Yeah.
Kirsten's like,
have you watched this show? Have you watched the show? There have been plenty of weddings that have gone by with no interaction between the husband and the wife. So let's not use that as an excuse.
Exactly. So then I thought it was funny that he said that this is a stopgap. I was like, okay, now you know.
He uses so many words. He has no idea what they mean.
That's like a corporate jibber jabber type of word. Yeah. Gina agrees. And so she says the physical attraction just wasn't there in the beginning. And at first for her, it was even that like Clint's personality is outrageous and he's fun and everyone's constantly laughing at him. But
who wants that?
She said, but it got to the point where it was almost like a secondhand embarrassment thing. She's like, you can be the life of the party, but you're not always attracted to the life of the party. And she just never felt like a wife. And she never felt any act of pursuing.
Listen, ask any schlubby sitcom husband. Everyone loves the funny guy. Ask Kevin James. Ask Ray Romano. They all get the.
You're
they all get the
funny.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, they're on Clint's level a little bit. But she's like, she says like, oh yeah, everyone laughs at him. You know, he's a life of the party. He's outrageous, wild, and fun. Who on earth would want to be with that?
Right. Someone who wants somebody who is outrageous and fun in the life of the party. Yeah. She even said it on After Party. It was like, she's like, I did ask for somebody who's super outgoing. And then I realized maybe I don't need that.
It's like,
So they gave you exactly what you wanted.
Is throw up your hands at that point. So it's like, what are we even doing here, Gina? What are you doing here? Like, you asked for this, you got it, and now you don't want it.
Dr. Pepper somewhere is, are you kidding me?
She's just flipping tables left and right. Dr. Pepper's house was destroyed after that comment. Destroyed. She was destroying all her furniture, like throwing the good china against the wall. Like, these mother messing up our success rates because they're BS.
I gave her exactly what she wanted.
My job is on the line.
She changes up her mind now all of a sudden.
That's why her husband is living apart from her, because she does this too often. Trashing her parts.
He's like, every season of Married at First Sight, you get so mad. I need my own space.
Yeah. Go buy my own house.
Right. So it's funny because it's just like, okay, if she doesn't want someone outgoing, it makes sense why she would want dull Mackenzie. If
Mackenzie?
If she wants him.
So I thought it was interesting though on After Party where she says, well, I guess I didn't want that. I want someone more serious, I guess. And Eris mentions, all the things that Gina says that she doesn't like about Clint are things that we all like about Clint. So that's interesting and weird.
Yeah.
And Brad was like, so I know Rudy asked, have you ever noticed Gina being a little cringy when Clint does this stuff? He's like, you know what? I'm not sure, because I never really look at Gina. I'm always looking at Clint. That made me think, is Gina jealous of Clint?
She did say she's usually the more outgoing one.
Yeah. So I was like, are you upset that people are looking at Clint and not you?
Probably.
I think there might be something to that. The people are not looking at Gina as the life of the party, which I've never seen Gina do anything to be the life of the party. I don't know why she would describe herself as that.
She's the life of the party in her salon because she's the boss. So Clint says he doesn't know what to think.
Hold on, Aysha. I'm getting something. Breaking news. Apparently in Russia, they think that we bombed the Kremlin, but like we totally did not do that. Oh my God. Can you believe that, guys?
What are you doing?
That was Gina doing the news. We got asked to do it in the review from earlier.
Oh,
are you listening?
Yes, I was, but it was so random. I wasn't expecting.
I said we'd get to it.
Okay.
Breaking news came in. What do you want me to do about it? News breaks when news breaks.
Breaking news stops for no one.
For no one.
Got it. So he doesn't know what to think. He says he knows he hasn't taken on like the full responsibilities of a husband, but he does cook and he tries to incorporate her. She's like, I'm going to stop you right there.
She said,
She might as well like put her finger up to his lip. No.
Be quiet, dummy.
She said the cooking is for him and she doesn't feel like it's for her at all. It's because he likes to cook and he watches the Food Network and just enjoys cooking. And that's all for him. But she doesn't feel like he's cooking for her.
I said, damn. And Clint was like, oh, okay. He looked pissed. He's like, so all that time I spent cooking for you and you're just going to just totally throw it in the trash. Okay, fine. That was a low blow.
It was, because it's just like, if he enjoys cooking,
he could have made something just for himself. He could have made something for one and be like, I don't know what you're going to do. I don't know what you're going to do for dinner.
Selfish.
I don't know what you're going to do for dinner, but I got my dinner.
I was so confused because I'm just like, is it just that he wasn't making all her favorite meals?
I don't know. Like, I mean, Eris did mention on one of the last after parties that, she will know that he is cooking dinner, but she will still bring in takeout food.
Oh, yeah, true. So maybe she just didn't like everything he cooked.
I mean, he doesn't use
seasoning.
See
that as a part.
He doesn't use seasoning, so
now he has Rudy's seasoning from Keisha's kitchen.
Whoever Keisha is.
And so we see. So Dr. Pepper asks, like, okay, what could he have done? And Gina's like, I'm not sure.
I don't know. So
it's
you
just
even
intentionality.
You don't even know what he could do for you that you would enjoy. You're just gonna throw up your hand and say, I don't know.
Yeah.
The level of not trying. The level of not trying in this woman is astonishing.
Yeah. So we get a confessional from Clint. He's like, how does this even come up? What was the intent? He's
to like, sideline me?
Right, literally.
What does that mean?
He's like, to like you're not playing in the game. You get sidelined.
I don't even know like what she did to do that exactly. I didn't. It hit me as why would you say something?
The secondhand embarrassment thing, like she finally was being honest about how she feels, really. And
this is sidelining really him.
Yeah, this is his first time, I guess, hearing her be brutally honest. Mm-hmm. He's just like, very interesting.
Very interesting. Apparently, I'm weird. I'm a creep. I'm crazy. Yeah. Oh, okay. I don't know if you heard all that, Clint. I think you're maybe reading it into it a lot more than what was said, but okay. I get you because she does feel that way. So
yeah. Question. Why wasn't this their decision day?
Right.
How do you lead as an expert? How do you walk out of this conversation? Like those two still need to work it out.
And typical Married at First Sight, shenanigans. We don't even get like an end to the session. It just cuts off. Whereas I said, oh, this is weird. And I mean, I figured they said, well, it's 4 days out. We already have the space rented for the amount of time we need to do 4 decision days. So we're just gonna have you guys do it anyway, okay? Like whatever.
It's ridiculous. Like
I did catch the song they played for this, and it said something about, "Are we just pretty little lies, little lies?" I said, "Oh, are they showing shade at Gina right now?"
I just do not understand how anyone could walk away from this conversation saying like they have any ounce of hope. This was a relationship ending conversation. This is not going to work out. They're not on the same page. They thought they tried, but it's over. This should have been, they just didn't want to call it. I don't know. I guess because they have a bajillion more episodes to go, but they did not want to call it.
Yeah, I still want to go out with the guys. I want to hang out. I want to talk. So, I think we need to stick around to do that. We want to take part in the group activities.
Yeah. Gina's like, I still have a trip to the nursery with Kirsten. Me and Jasmine did book a second pole dancing class, so we can't skip that. Yeah. So I gotta hang out with Nicole somewhere. I told her I would play Monopoly with her, but I heard that doesn't go well. So
I already bought a dress, so so let's go through with it.
So that was it for Clint and Gina. What are you thinking?
Oh, it's a 1 all the way.
No question.
No question about it.
Okay. All right. I'll agree with that 1. I'll say a 1 as well. So real quick, before we get to our last bonus content, we did get a next time on. We got to see Kirsten in a recording booth. I guess they're recording a song for their last date or something. And then Nicole says this is what her fantasies were about. We do get to see Jasmine said that Eris says that things could change after decision.
She's so excited. He said that after decision day, our intimacy can grow. Can you believe that? He said that.
Yeah. It's like, it's just like, my mom said on the way home.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And we can get McDonald's?
Yeah.
And I can get a
we
McFlurry.
might be able to. Yeah. If there's no line in the drive-thru, we might be able to get an ice cream.
Get this. My mom said we can go inside and I can play in the play place. Suckers.
Oh gosh. Yeah, no, Jasmine.
Oh, Jasmine.
So Nicole says she could see her and Chris living together. Shaq is still unsure. We do get to see Mac talking to Eris, and this is where we see Mac say he did slide in Gina's DMs. We get a video of Clint saying he's been blindsided. Don't know if it's correlated. It could be something different.
I think the blindside is probably very early in the episode where he's still talking about the conversation.
Oh yeah, very true. Yeah. Good call. Then we get
expert edit reader.
Right. Then we get this weird Like, Jasmine is out with the girls, and this random guy is talking to her, and she's like, yeah, I'm liking the attention. And then she's doing a confessional, and the guy is in the confessional saying, let's take this outside. And then he says something about the 740.
I think that's a BMW. I got a
Mm.
740 outside. Let's go. And I don't think that she's really into it. Like, the look on her face was not a look that told me she was entertaining this at all.
Yeah, it was very.
He was very creepy and, like, you know,
He was
a little
like just
aggressive
in front
a
of
way.
the camera. How are you trying
Yeah.
to shoot your shot? Somebody's on a whole television show.
Oh, I think the camera was a draw for him. He's like, oh, let me get myself on TV.
Let me go over to these lights.
Yeah.
All right. Catch me. Oh, also, after party. This is Keisha's last after party because she has to have her baby, which she had a few weeks ago. So
Yeah.
we did find out that this is her last after party for the season, and the person filling in for her is Jamel Hill.
So weird. So out of left field. I said, what?
First of all, she watches Married at First Sight.
Let's get her on the podcast. Let's get her on the podcast. This is
Like,
this is huge.
This is huge. If you don't know, Jamel Hill was like, she had a show on ESPN, like for prime time, or it was like maybe like 3 or 4 o'clock, like prime time. People are watching. Now she's a host of a podcast and does other stuff. Even we are.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but she's big time. Huge. Like, I feel like she's a pretty big. I mean, not that Keisha Knight Pulliam is not a big deal. She is.
Well, I mean,
she was on Celebrity Big Brother.
She's a certain size deal, but Jamel Hill is like 20 times the deal that Rudy is.
Yeah, like Jamel Hill is too big to be on Celebrity Big Brother.
She's what Rudy was in the 80s.
So I'm excited for after party next week because what?
When they said that, I said, the Jamel Hill?
I said, maybe there's somebody else.
This is a different one.
Right.
Was there someone named Jamel on one of the previous seasons? Like, right. They had the same name?
So very interesting.
They could have named 1,000 other people before that, and I would have believed it. It's like, what?
Literally. So yeah. So what's the latest on Married at First Sight UK?
Married at First Sight UK. Okay. I'm not gonna run down all, every person that you do or do not remember. So Shanita and Jordan, blah blah blah, boring. They're a perfect couple. Nothing to really talk about there. Sophie and Jonathan, they're one of the newer couples, as I explained last episode. Jonathan is really starting to show his ass now.
How so?
He has taken up the mantle of the classic, I'm just being brutally honest, and I can say whatever I want because I'm speaking in truth. He paired this up with, I'll also say something about a woman's figure that is not good, because apparently his wife was at the gym and he told her to stop exercising her legs as much because he didn't want her to get horse legs because he would find that very unattractive.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so he says, well, that's just my opinion. I was just saying my opinion. I was being honest. And, they had to explain to him. They do that
in the UK too.
Yeah. They had to explain to him, like, that's not really what you do. That's not appropriate. He's like, well, I was just saying my opinion. I was just saying. And he says in his words, like, it's the same thing as if you were to get fat. I would, not be interested in you anymore. Like, literally, he said that.
Oh gosh.
So he's showing his ass now. So they're
how is she taking to this?
Not great, because they are having a woman's dinner. They're going on their own version of a retreat.
Okay.
So they're at their retreat, and we have the women's brunch and the men's brunch. So Married First Sight UK is shady as F, because they give out these cards with questions on them that are meant to stir up drama and trouble.
Like a Jasmine's card game, but worse.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, one of the questions is, who would you least like to be paired up with? And a few of the girls said Jonathan because of that comments that he was making. And that caused Sophie to get really emotional and upset. And so she went to go talk to him where it was like, the girls, they were all saying these things about you. He's like, I don't care what they say. I don't care about their opinion. The only person I care about is you. I don't care about what they have to say. I could care less about what they have to say. And so that caused that was pretty much the end of the episode where they were fighting like about that, about what he said. Let's see. Gemma and Matt. Oh boy. Matt's another one that's not afraid to tell you the truth. Gemma and Matt, you remember, she is sex crazed and he is not for it at all. He is not interested in her. He's trying
with the tattoos.
He's tattoo man that apparently does not own any shirts with sleeves on them because all he wears are tank tops each and every day.
Because if he's not showing off, the full sleeves, then what is he doing?
Just to tell you the type of person he is, he has one of his tank tops says mediocrity is a sin. So this is like an Andrew Tate kind of guy, I think, in real life. So yeah, he's definitely not cool. So I'll get into the whole thing, in a sec. Adrian and Tom are a gay male couple. They're actually doing pretty well. Tom is paired with the ladies and Adrian is paired with the men. And Tom likes to start drama.
Why? I guess they just had to put them with the group.
Right. So Tom likes to start drama with the other ladies because there's this whole thing about people were talking about different people and it caused a whole stir, and he will not drop it or let it go. The rest of the ladies are like, we don't care anymore. Just drop it. We don't care. But he just keeps wanting to like stir up the hornet's nest. He talking about. He yells to everyone. Tom is a constant stormer outer. He will yell at the ladies and then storm out of the room, and then come back. I'm fine now. I'm fine. It's a whole thing with him. But he and Adrian are actually doing okay. They're doing decent. They're fine.
So they haven't had any like issues.
Not those two of them together this batch of episodes.
Gotcha.
Zoe and Jenna are a lesbian couple. They're fine. They're doing pretty well. It seems like they've mostly gotten past the whole vegan thing because their thing was one of them was vegan, one of them is not. They pretty much gotten past that. It's fine.
The vegan one kept talking about
why she's a vegan with all the kind of horrifying details about what happens to animals or whatever.
Hey, we even saw with this season, we got Eris stopped talking about bacon.
Oh yes, he did.
So people can move on from. We forgot about the dietary restrictions. We did.
We've got April and George. George is proving to be one of the more dramatic cast members on this show. They did an exercise where they had to do a love-hate week where they had to say one thing, a few things they loved about each other and a few things they hate about each other. One of the things that she said she hated about him was how he tells her that he trusts her, but then he will say that he doesn't trust her all the same time. He does things to say he doesn't trust her. He says, well, I don't trust you because you lie. And she says, what do you mean I lie? She says, when they were talking about previous relationships, she did not get into enough detail about these relationships for him. So he saw that as a lie. Yes. So he saw that as a lie. So he stormed out of their apartment and slept in a separate apartment that night.
Not even just a separate bedroom.
Separate apartment. The whole. So I think they only have one bedroom apartments because every time someone leaves the apartment and storms out, they have to go stay in a whole separate apartment. So he went and stayed in a whole separate apartment that night, and he's talking to Adrian comes over. He's talking to Adrian about it. He's like, I want her to be honest with me. He's crying, and they get April and George get back together. He's like, I just want you to be honest with me. She's like, I am being honest with you. I'm just not telling you like every single thing about this relationship because it's not important. It's not relevant to us at all. He's like, I feel like it's a lie. You're not telling me the whole truth.
Oh my God.
So he's pretty dramatic. This is the same guy that was upset when he walked in on her giving a girl a kiss for some.
Oh, okay. He just has general trust issues with her. Cause like, that's the same thing if somebody is like, I can understand that logic if somebody's like, oh yeah, I went to dinner, but neglected to say they were at dinner with their ex, you know?
I mean, that's one thing, but that's
right. That's completely different.
Yeah. So George is proving to be quite the dramatic presence as well. Whitney and Duca, they are a weird couple. Whitney is someone that keeps saying Duca is fake. He's not being his real self. Meanwhile, Whitney is a drama queen. She is saying all types of inappropriate stuff, not sexually inappropriate, but like she was one that was really just not into the wedding as soon as she got there. And she keeps saying that she is trying, but we cannot see it. Us as the audience don't know what she's talking about. Like, how exactly are you trying? You're not really trying.
She says she's trying.
She says she's trying, but she's not really. She keeps referring to him as a kid. She's like, this kid or this kid is doing this or that.
Oh no.
So they did a love-hate week, and we could kind of see what she's talking about as far as Duca being a little fake, because the things he hates about her is like, you don't make me coffee in the morning, and he says it like really weird and odd. Not a real thing to say. So we can kind of see there what she's talking about. Like, you're not taking the exercise seriously. But when he said what he loves about her, he says, I love how considerate you are. This was not good enough for her for some reason. She says, that's not real. He's not saying things I need him to say. He's not being real with me. I was like, what do you want him to say exactly? So they are a hot mess. We'll talk more about Whitney in a second. Let's see. Who else do we have?
Expectations are through the roof.
Yeah. Aysha and Kwame. So this is the couple that she was one of the, sexual people that wanted to have sex right away, but he was kind of delaying it, putting it off. They seem to be in a much better place now. But he seems to now be obsessed with her cooking. He loves her cooking. He will not shut up about her cooking. Anytime anyone asks anything about Aysha, he says, she's a great cook. I love her when she cooks. She's the best cook I've ever seen. They talk about, one of the questions they give the men is, what other woman would you have rather been paired with besides your own? Just to kick up
that is
drama.
So messy.
Just to kick up drama. That's all it's there for. So he asked one of the guys, does Sophie cook? Like, that is important. It is very important for Kwame that he has someone that can cook. That is all he's here for now, is her cooking, apparently. But other than that, they seem to be getting on pretty well at this point. I think he has given her what she wanted. Let's just say that. I didn't really touch on Gemma with Matt. Gemma is very upset with Matt, the tattoo guy, because he won't give her any attention. All they do is fight. All they do is
he just not attracted to her?
I think that's mostly the issue, but he won't really come out and say that. In the beginning, we could definitely see like what his point was, because it was talking like extremely sexually. Like the dinner after they got married, like the second after they got married, she was talking very sexually to him. And I could see where he would be uncomfortable and be turned off by that, but I also think just in general, he's not really into her.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's all of our couples. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I missed anyone, it's whatever. I don't care. But I think I got everyone. I think I did. But the bigger issue right now, the bigger drama rolling in, is we have Matt and Gemma. We have Whitney of Whitney and Duca. They are not attracted to their spouses. They don't like their spouses. So now it's coming that Whitney and Matt seemingly are going to be hooking up.
Really?
In the both exercises where they say, who would you rather be paired with other than your significant other? Matt says Whitney says Matt. They just so happen to wind up in the same room in the retreat together and hit off a nice little conversation. And Matt is obviously flirting with her, like, obviously.
Oh gosh.
And in his confessionals, he's basically saying like, hey, it's not working out with her person. It's not working out with my person. Who knows what could happen? Like, he's basically saying, I'm about to steal your girl, my guy. He's trying to Mr. Steal your girl. So in the preview for the next episode, we see them on like some type of little bridge at the retreat, and it looks like they are going in for a kiss.
Oh no. They're not gonna even separate from their people yet? Just gonna go ahead and just cheat.
Apparently not. They're just gonna go ahead and cheat on this retreat and just, oh well.
Oh my gosh. Well,
I'm telling you, this show is only for mess. It's what the mess that they do things to make mess.
That is funny. Oh my gosh. How many episodes is it a week?
It's 1 2-hour block a week. So it's kind of broken up into 2 episodes in a way.
Gotcha. Okay. And this has already aired completely, right?
Yeah, it's in the UK. It's already aired its whole season. So if you're not careful, you're going to find spoilers online.
Gotcha. My mom specifically wanted me to tell you that she has watched the whole season. So
she's got a VPN. She's pirating the whole season.
She has her ways.
Mama Welch.
But she was like, she heard us talking about it on the last episode, and she was like, "Why didn't you tell Jason that I've seen the whole season already?" I said, "I didn't know that."
Yeah, I mean, I think there's even an Australian version that's already finished as well. And that was also, messy as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
believe she's watched that one as well.
Yeah, these shows are only made for mess. So,
oh my gosh,
mission accomplished.
Because if they actually kiss, like how, if they kiss, do they then just say we're deciding to be together? Because is this similar to Married at First Sight Australia, where they have to decide, like, do they keep wanting to stay together? And
yeah, and if one of them says leave and one says stay, the person that said leave has to stay for a week.
They should punish them and just keep staying.
I think that's kind of what Duke is doing, because it feels like, because there's a question of like, if stay or twist, meaning if you had the choice, would you stay with your person or would you go for another stranger? Duke, despite the fact that Whitney has pretty much said she doesn't want him, she doesn't like him, said, "Oh yeah, I would definitely stay with Whitney." They're like, everyone there's like, "Nah, that's BS. You would not." He's like, "No, really, guys, I'm learning a lot about myself. I'm here for my personal growth." They're like, "That's not what this is for. This isn't for your personal growth. This is for you to meet someone to fall in love with." He's like, "I understand, but this is for me. This is my personal growth." He just wants some more. He just wants to stay on the show. He just wants his
my personal minutes. Growth.
Yeah, I'm here to learn about myself. Like
that's what therapy is for.
Yeah, he's using this as his personal therapy, also as a kind of jumping off of whatever reality TV career he wants to make for himself.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that is funny. Well, wow, things are heating up.
things are really heating up. I'm not sure if the kiss is going to actually go through, because their faces are like this close to each other.
Yeah,
but it looks like she's saying something right before, so I'm not sure if it's like I can't do this. I have to break up with Duke before I even kiss you. I mean, and it sounded like in her confessionals when she's talking about Matt, she's like, "Yeah, he's cool." But Matt's like, "No, I'm down for Whitney. I really like her a lot. I fancy her a lot,
Oh my gosh.
So yeah,
are Whitney and it's Gemma, right?
Of what
with Matt?
Yeah, Gemma's with Matt. Yeah.
Okay, so are Whitney and Gemma friends?
Oh no.
Okay.
Because of that question that was like, which husband would you like beside your own? Whitney, literally just to cause mess, turns literally to Gemma. She's like, Matt, like literally to cause mess. It causes Gemma to cry. She gets upset about the fact that she's like after her man. So there's gonna be a dinner party next week where a whole bunch of drama kicks up, which is typical for that show.
Yeah.
So yeah, wow. for those that wanted another MAFS UK minute, here you go. I don't know if I'll be able to do it every week, because the show it's a chore to get the 2 episodes in before we record. So I'm not sure if we're going to be doing it every week, but we were able to fit it in before recording.
Yes, treat it like a nice little treat. You don't always get treats, but when you do, it's a treat.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So yes, thank y'all so much for listening. Episode 18 is in the books. We will be a little bit delayed next week with episode 19, because of Rob has a podcast live that is happening in Toronto. I will be going there for the for the Survivor episode and the Big Brother Canada 11 finale. So like I said, if y'all are there, let me know so we can meet. I would love to meet anybody who is a Big Brother Canada or Survivor fan, but also listens to this podcast. So yeah, stay tuned. It will be released a couple of days later, but we will cover next week for sure. So Jason, what are you up to? Where can people find you?
The people can find me on Twitter at JAYR1085. Besides this lovely podcast, I am doing a couple shows over on Post Show Recaps. I am doing The Citadel on Amazon Prime. You can catch me and my co-host Marissa Garza talking about that show. I'm also doing The Power with Sasha Joseph on Post Show Recaps. Both shows on Post Show Recaps. Go check me out there with my respective co-hosts. Aysha, what about you?
Yeah, so y'all can follow me on all social media at Aysha like Asia. That's AYSHA like ASIA. I also took a little trip over to Post Show Recaps to talk about episode 6 of Succession. Had a great time talking to Grace and Dr. Amanda about this amazing show. I've never gotten a podcast about it before, and I've always watched it. So I was very glad to be able to get my thoughts out there on the deep dive episode. And then also Big Brother Canada coverage continues. I was on an episode recap this week. I will be on the round table on Monday. And then I'll be there in person for the finale, getting to meet people like last year's winner, Kevin Jacobs. And yeah, anything else that I'm up to, I will post about. You do know, like, the ultimatum is coming back May 24th. So we will have coverage for that. So stay tuned. So yeah, more info to come on that. And I believe that's it. Anything else that I'll be up to, I will post about it. So yeah, if y'all want to join the Facebook group, don't forget, look up A Perfect Match Podcast. This week, the password is Pup Cup. Also, make sure you go subscribe to the Love at First Sight feed. Give us a 5-star rating and review, and we will shout you out. All right. We will see y'all next week. Bye.